Condition orange. Condition orange. Situation Delta in effect. Please enter your agent number now, followed by the hash key.
We have to create culture. Don't watch TV. Don't read magazines. To NPR.
Time comes when silence is betrayal.
More for themselves and less for everybody else. But I'll tell you what they don't want. They don't want a population of citizens capable of critical thinking. They don't want well-informed, well-educated people capable of critical thinking. They're not interested in that. That doesn't help them. Think for yourself. Question authority.
This code has been compromised.
All right, welcome back, Truth Seeker. It is Wednesday, August 9th, 2023, and I don't even know where to begin on this day. These headlines, they are just more unbelievable as the days pass. We're always talking about dead young rappers. We got a 14-year-old rapper who had commercial success at age 9, dead today, and they're out of Canada, just like Robbie Robertson of the band, who's also dead in the news today. And funny thing about two Canadian musicians being top stories is that it's 39 days after the July 1st birthday of Canada, and in Gematria, Canada equals 39. But if you recall last week, something we talked about with last week's show, August 3rd was approaching. It was the very next day, and we said, let's keep an eye on, what celebrities kicked the bucket in the 83 ritual this year, and there were a number, but two big ones. Mark Margolis, dead at 83 on 8/3. He was in the film Scarface, which came out in 83, where Pacino's the big star, and he died exactly 38 weeks from Pacino's upcoming birthday. Again, in Gematria, murder equals 83 and 38. The song Murder by Numbers came out in 83, the same year as Scarface. You also had the president of the publishing house for the Harry Potter series. Supposedly she fell overboard that day on a nice yacht, only to hit the propeller blades and die. And it just happened to be 38 days from the anniversary of the Harry Potter publishing. The state did put to death a serial killer that day, reminding of Charles Manson at age 83. And again, we just know that number, 83, tied to murder rituals again and again. For example, the little rapper that's dead today, the 14-year-old of Canada, their rap name equals 83. A few days ago in the news, another rapper supposedly killed his best friend's father, and then that news was a big 83 ritual, and so on and so forth. Again, Gematria, the practice of coding numbers into words. You learn this language. You see through the ritualism that goes on day after day. And there's been so many rituals this week. It really has been mind-blowing. The other day, the Exorcist director dies. And we'll talk about why they died the day they did. But also in the news that day was... Well, there were a number of things in the news, really, but one of the things was Donald Trump's countersuit being thrown out against E. Jean Carroll on the same day the director of Exorcist dies. And the connection is Carroll, the surname Carroll, goes back to the family that founded Georgetown. The movie, The Exorcist, is set in Georgetown. The man who wrote the story for Exorcist, the book that the movie's based on, he went to Georgetown. He's quoted saying the Jesuits shaped his mind. And the day that those stories happened, the Exorcist death, the E. Jean Carroll, lawsuit getting tossed, countersuit, It was 54 days after Donald Trump's birthday. And remember, John Carroll founded Georgetown at age 54, and in Gematria, Jesuit order equals 54, like John Carroll, like John Roberts, who just had a nice 54 ritual with the Ghost Guns ban 5-4 decision because John Roberts went with the liberals. And did you notice that the day of the Ghost Gun ban, did you see the other headline, the dead celebrity that day? Here, let's put it together. The dead celebrity's name was DJ Casper. Casper, like Casper the Ghost on the day of the Ghost Gun ban. But what city was DJ Casper from? See, this is the bigger joke. Guns, gun violence, what city comes to mind? What city do you hear about all the time with guns and gun violence? Is it not Chicago? Where do you think DJ Casper's from? DJ Casper from Chicago, dead in the headlines, right next to Ghost Gun ban. You know? And that's coming right after the exorcism ritual out of Georgetown. You know, ghosts, demons. The Montgomery Brawl, you know, right there with Martin Luther King Jr.'s I Had a Dream speech. Of course, you know, Martin Luther King Jr. led the 54-mile march from Selma to Montgomery. Ended on the 84th day of the year, like how Jesuits 84, like Anthony Fauci, the head of NIH, the little Jesuit scumbag, head of NIH from 84, and then he just recently got admitted into Georgetown's faculty, and they said after 54 years of public service, they got to bring him in. But yeah, MLK, you know, his speech in Montgomery was in 65. The 58th anniversary just passed. The brawl was on the 5th day of the 8th month. That we're going to be seeing a lot of 58 in the road to Super Bowl 58 because, you know, again, it's Super Bowl 58 in Las Vegas. Henry Ruggs is back in the news right now, who's from Montgomery. He's back in the news right after the Montgomery brawl. Supposedly he ran over the white woman with his car, black NFL receiver, all about race, ritual, nonsense. And, you know, Rambo hasn't been around for a while, but he did some great work on Henry Ruggs and the Heliacal Rising of Sirius and how the Jesuits celebrate their birthday on August 15th. August 15th. Again, which is just days away as they bring Henry Ruggs back in the news as football's getting underway. And again, Montgomery, Alabama, right? When you think Alabama, you think college football about to start. When you think, you know, football period, you think Super Bowl. We're going to be exposing so many rituals, and the sad thing is, unless we figure out how to fix these algorithms or get more people to get the message out there, a lot of people are not going to be seeing the jokes that are persistent day after day. But again, 58 years after MLK, on 5/8, and by the way, the day Donald Trump was in Montgomery the day before the brawl, and he was at hotel number 201. I mean, come on. But again, Donald Trump, the winner of the 58th U.S. presidential election, who announced he was running from the 58-story Trump Tower, dead in the news with that cycle was DJ Casper, dead at age 58 on the 58 date numerology, as then, you know, we go to the Supreme Court and the ghost gun ban's happening. Robert De Niro's grandson, you guys, they come out and say his cause of death, and they do it 38 days from the death, and they blame it on fentanyl, which equals 38 like murder, like death, like killing, like RIP. And as we talked about, when he died, it was perfectly synced with the movie he was in. Again, Robert De Niro's grandson who died was in the film, oh God, I'm forgetting the name. The one with Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper. Something about a star, right? It had to do with stars, and the title of the film was synced up with his death. We covered all this. Well, look, the cause of death came out on August 8th. Harder to find a better day about stars in light of the constellations. There being 88 official constellations. And also yesterday on 8/8, in the world of hip-hop, you had Tory Lanez sentenced to 10 years in prison. His birth name is Daystar. Daystar in Gematria equals 88. His full name is Daystar Peterson. If you take his full name and use numerology, Daystar Peterson equals 88. And as we talked about a few years ago when he was arrested for what now he's been sentenced for, he was arrested 88 days from the shooting incident. So that was the story 3 years ago. We were talking about the 88, and now on 8/8 sentenced. And again, 88 constellations, stars, rituals with the stars. The nearest star, the sun, does a figure 8 in the sky known as the Analema. And what somebody else pointed out when I did that short video yesterday on Tory Lanez and August 8th, somebody left a great comment. We don't get many of those these days anymore because of the algorithm, and they even delete people. In addition to deleting your channel and your video, they delete other people's comments, their likes. They want to make it look like it's a ghost town and people questioning. In the world of people questioning things, they want to make it look like it's a ghost town. But somebody left a comment, and I had to look it up. 2 Peter 1:19, that verse, the phrase Daystar is used. His name is Daystar Peterson. And again, you got 2 Canadian singers dead today, the little rapper Lil Tay, and then you have the member of the band who got famous behind Bob Dylan. Bob Dylan's born on the 144th day of the year today, leaves 144 days left in the year. But the Canadian singer from the band, his name is Robbie Robertson. And then what's also in the headlines today, a Utah man named Robertson is suspected of threatening to kill Joe Biden. Now let's really focus on that one right there. That this news about this, assassination threat comes on the day leaving 144 days left in the year. Let's just go down memory lane. JFK killed 144 days from meeting with the Pope. RFK reported dead at 1:44 in the morning, June 6, 1968. RFK Jr. gets in the upcoming election, April 5th, 2023, 144 days after Arturo Sosa's birthday, the leader of the Jesuit order. When in Gematria, Jesuit order equals 144, just like President Biden, who supposedly used his White House and special counsel to search for Trump's Twitter posts. That's a story today on the day leaving 144 days left in the year. Remember, Elon Musk reinstated Joe Biden 144, or not Joe Biden. Elon Musk reinstated Donald Trump on Twitter 144 days after his birthday. Elon Musk offered to buy Twitter on April 14th. 14/4, the anniversary of Lincoln being assassinated. He offered $54 a share. Jesuit order equals 144 the big way, 54 the small way. But all these 144 rituals, all these 144 Jesuit puppets, this number traces back to through assassination history, the Kennedys, the current Kennedy being in the race by the same numbers. JFK killed at age 46. Joe Biden, number 46, elected 46 weeks after the Pope's birthday, replacing Trump, who stood with the Pope at the Vatican on May 24th, the 144th day of the year. And then Elon Musk did a nice Jesuit ritual with the Pope too, also with his family at the Vatican. It's just, again, they're unfolding a story piece by piece. They're giving us all the details, all the characters. What side are you on? The cryptocurrency Elon Musk, Donald Trump gonna save the world sideline, or are you on the I still like Joe Biden more than Donald Trump sideline? Man, he nearly took down this nation when he shook the heart of it with January 6th. Don't you get sick of listening to these idiots go on TV and say shit like that? This nation really felt it in the heart on January. No, we fucking didn't. Does anyone remember how bullshit that day was? The group of, what do they call them? The government informants for Trump, the hot boys, the proud boys. Just all these guys who knew to just walk around the police open the barricades for them. Show the real footage, that's the real footage. Police open the barricades. These guys walk around. They find this window on the side of the building that they went into that just happened to be so easy to remove. It's like, what the hell? Like, who are these guys to walk to that obscure window that they knew would just pop right open? I mean, if you guys don't know about what I'm talking about, should have been doing your homework, because these are all facts and have all been out there on the videos all over the web that they try to take down for all this time. Again, it's obvious that they had this prop window with these little government informants just going through. And again, yeah, sure, once people saw the barricades were breached and people were in there, I mean, the tourists who were out there too, or the people who went there just to support their favorite overgrown Orange Oompa Loompa, who just, they're not really bad people. It's just that they're taken into that storyline. Some of them ended up wandering into the building too, and they're like, well, that guy in the guy up there in the whatever that suit is, that Viking, he's in there. I guess I'll follow him in there too. But All of this stuff. Hey, let's not forget all the 144s. Let's not forget that not only does Jesuit order equal 144, so does President Biden. And let's not forget that at Jesuit Georgetown on June 12, 2020, they did the Transition Integrity Project simulation of the election. What kind of name is that anyway? Transition Integrity Project, simulating the upcoming election. And in the simulation, Biden narrowly beats Trump. Trump thinks he's cheated, refuses to step down, and it leads to a deadly altercation and violence amongst the American people. That was simulated at Jesuit Georgetown 144 days before the election. And the sad thing is all this stuff happened after about 5,000 examples of me already presenting from 2013 up to before that about the Jesuits and 144 and these rituals and why they like these numbers and where they are in the Bible and how these people are playing us for fools every day because they know that we have been trained since the time we were little ones, to just believe in stories and believe in the authority. Oh, the newsman said it must be true. My teacher said it must be true. The doctor said it must be true. The priest said it must be true. The president said it must be true. Believe or else. And there really is. That really should be a motto in our society, believe or else. You don't believe in Jesus, you're going to burn forever in the hellfire. It's scary. You don't believe in what the news is saying about what brought down the towers and it's the bad man in the cave? Well, you're going to be a fucking social outcast, and there might be consequences for questioning. Just wait and find out. So everyone just go along with the authorities and all the stories we're told. 26 children were killed. We're not going to show you any evidence of any of it. But 26 children were killed, and you better believe it or we'll take down your YouTube channel, and we'll smear your personality, and also give up your rights and liberties while you're at it too, because 26 children died. And Dr. Wayne Carver over there, he's laughing about the cute kid stuff they were wearing. What's not to believe about this story? What happened to Dr. Wayne Carver? Oh yeah, he died by the numbers. Maybe he wasn't the best actor. Maybe he was, raising too many eyebrows. Why is that guy laughing about all the dead kids? I thought he did the autopsies for 26 children. He thinks it's funny already? Man, this guy is crude. Robbie Parker, he's having a good laugh until he knows he's on camera. Remember when they gave Robbie Parker $120 million? What was it? Was it on his 120th day of his age? Or it's 120 days from the anniversary of the shooting? It was something like that. It's just like... And is it that Robbie Parker equals 120? I forget exactly. But this is what they're doing to us. 120 million of taxpayer money. That means you and I paid for it. So Robbie Parker can laugh to the bank. Yeah, Robbie Parker, $120 million payout. From Alex Slick Willie Jones, another Jesuit scumbag, fraudster. Bill Cooper, say what you will about Bill Cooper. It's interesting how Bill Cooper was born on 5/6 and killed on the day, leaving 56 days left in the year right after 9/11. But Bill Cooper said that Alex Jones was a total fraud of a human being. Yeah. And that is obvious. So, but yeah, there's just all kinds of crap in the news. All kinds of crap. All by the numbers. Pulling on the heartstrings. You guys see Jamie Foxx is an anti-Semite for simply tweeting they killed Jesus? Didn't even say who. They killed Jesus. He's anti-Semitic. How do you know he didn't mean the Romans? I mean, and if you guys missed that, it's all synced up with his latest movie, They Cloned Tyrone. And again, that movie came out on 21/7. He's saying this on the 217th day of the year. And it was 8/5, like Jesus Hominum Salvator's 85, like how in the film They Cloned Tyrone, the secret lab messing with the black communities under the church. And you can open the door by hitting the button hidden behind the IHS, which stands for Jesus Hominum Salvator. The O'Shea Sibley Beyonce thing, I don't even want to talk about it. How about, oh my God. You guys, for years we've been talking about Barack Obama at the White House Correspondents' Dinner with Trump in attendance, joking that he really was born in Africa, and the proof is he's Simba of the Lion King. And did you see the day after Obama's birthday, the actor who portrayed Simba in the latest film, who did the voice for him, died at age 47, just like how Obama became president at age 47. By the way, Simba in Gematria equals 44, like he's number 44. Lion King the same. But, I mean, it's just the stuff that's going on in this world and what's being presented to us in the news and people not connecting the dots and it's so gross, man. And still worshiping these people. Over and over, we're showing how the people in office, there's ritual sacrifice connected to them. People not even in office, people part of the show. RFK Jr. just came to my plate that his ex-wife hung herself. I didn't even realize this. This was years ago. But I know she hung herself on the 136th day of the year, the 16th triangular number after they got divorced after 16 years of marriage. And again, he's part of this Jesuit Kennedy family, and the Jesuits were created in the 16th century. He leads the rally against the Jesuit lockdowns on Georgetown's birthday. That's another part of RFK Jr.'s legacy. Not to mention just this whole ritual with getting in this race by the numbers. But yeah, all this stuff, I'm just trying to get us caught up on things that have happened since we last conversed last Wednesday. That's a lot of it. You want to make your ears bleed. And if you're saying, Zach, why would I want to make my ears bleed? Good question. You don't really want to make your ears bleed, but sometimes it's just like to get a reality check and see what's going on in society. You know, I feel like I got one of those today, looking into the death of this rapper Lil Tay, the 14-year-old Canadian girl who does gangsta rap. She was 9 years old when she was doing this. 9 years old out of Canada, gangsta rapper. But just listening to it, it's just gross. It's just gross the things they have this little girl saying. She didn't write these lyrics. She's performing them. Maybe Big Brother's writing the lyrics. I don't know, but it's just gross. It's gross to see a little 9-year-old girl, you know, presenting herself that way and saying these things. And then, again, you know, I mean, I remember being 9 years old. I was impressionable when I was 9. I remember some of the other kids around me at 9. You start, they're just creating such a gross society, you guys. I mean, and again, Lil Tay, she's putting out her gangsta rap songs on YouTube and getting millions of views. She's not getting censored at all. I'm getting my videos taken down and letters from Google about how my channel was taken down, my video was taken down to protect the viewers of the platform. Okay, so me questioning something like COVID, or me questioning the legitimacy of an election, or the outcome of a sports game, or all the other things that I question, that's bad. That's dangerous to the viewers of YouTube. But hey, a little 9-year-old girl promoting all kinds of just like demented shit is, that's cool, you know. And who's going to do anything about it? You know what I mean? I have been trying to get something to happen. I hate to use the word try, but that's where we're at. We've been trying. You know, we went down to, here's the funny thing. Here's a real thing too. A weird thing happened when I made the trip through California, and I didn't notice something that had happened until I got back just reading the comments to people's videos, just responding to what we did on our trip through California back in April. And I didn't notice that the gentleman who met me at the YouTube facility, who then followed me around for that day, I didn't realize that in a lot of the videos he was clearly doing some signs, just doing signs at me, especially when I wasn't looking, and it was going on for a while. And a lot of people, I was like, why is this everybody's comment? Like, is this all you guys have to say that I got back from California? What's up with this guy doing these signs? I didn't realize what was going on, but then I looked at myself and I thought, man, that is crazy. And the other person who came out and met up, they also went out to New York. But lately, they just keep uploading these videos, just talking all this trash about what a cult the Gematria community is, and how dumb it is, and how we make people look crazy. And I'm like, okay. The reason I'm sharing this, you guys, is because it's just so disappointing. It's like, where are the people in the world that care? The people who came out that day to go around with me in California, I don't think they're really on my side. The thing about the gentleman who was doing the signs is, again, he told me his story when he met me at YouTube, and I found it really interesting. And his story set in a lot more of my mind when I saw the signs, because again, he explained that the reason he follows my work is he said, I know you're right about the Catholic Church and the Jesuits, because he said he came from a drug-running family, and years ago, his entire family was arrested and put in prison, but he was not. And I just assumed at the time the reason he wasn't is because he was younger, and I didn't really think about anything beyond that. I just listened to his story, but he said he knew that my work was right because his drug-running family, where they dropped, you know, distribution points, as he explained, he said from South America through all of North America and this country, he said the primary distribution ports for drugs in everybody's communities are through the Catholic churches, and he knows because he was part of those deliveries. So he revealed all that to me, but then I noticed, he was also, the other half of that was doing these weird-ass signs every time I wasn't looking, which, and then the other guy who was tagging around along all day, he's not about this community, man. I mean, you're not uploading these videos saying all this shit, and it's just, I'm just so sick of it, you guys. The people who it's obvious that this is a tactic to try and discourage people, to try and get people to like become part of some, I'm out here putting myself out here, my name out here, how to contact me, how to get in touch with me. So many people who've made the greatest effort over the years have turned out to be people that obviously weren't ever about it, and it was more about just trying to mess with you. So, yeah, again, don't let that discourage you from going out and doing the right thing. People still need to go out and do the right thing, and what I'm saying is I wish my memory was that there were 100 people who came out to pound payment all the big tech places and let them know we're not happy about it, and let more employees see that it's more than just me and one or two other guys. It's a whole bunch of people that are really upset. It should be way more than 100 people. There should be thousands of people out of these big tech places saying, what are you doing about, undermining the First Amendment? This is America. You're seriously making your policy based on the World Health Organization out of Switzerland? Was it Switzerland that made this company what it is? It was made here in America. At least so we thought. But, Anyway, I think we got a commercial break coming up here, and I feel like I should hear it right now, but I don't.
There are folks that you emulate.
There it is.
There are folks that you idolize. There are folks that you want to be, and you ask yourself constantly, how did they get there? Why are they there? Oh, they got so famous, and you see haters, and you're sometimes a hater, and you marvel at them, but recognize. Who was John Legend before John Legend? John Legend. Who was Barack before 2009? Barack. Right? He was still the same person, so to speak. So understand those people that you see that are up there just made a shift in their way of thinking about themselves that elevated them to the position that you see them in. Instead of idolizing or hating on someone or wondering how did they get there, start looking at yourself and say, I can be there. I'm here. What do I have to change to be there? So who are you? Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? What thread was sewn to design the fabric?
It's amazing how people have been raving about iAlife all over Facebook. They've been posting their testimonials just because they want to get the word out because it's worked so well for them. If you're not familiar with iAlife, it's a 99% pure CBD oil. But the secret is the synergy between the hemp and the ayahuasca vine, the non-psychoactive component of the ayahuasca tea. We recently received an email from a wife whose husband has Parkinson's. For the first time, he's been able to sleep through the entire night. Another customer reported that they're no longer using NSAIDs because their tennis elbow has been relieved with iAlife. The reports have been phenomenal and much more than we ever expected. Everyone should have access to this. That's why if you head on over to ialife.com right now and use coupon code TFR, we'll give you $5 towards your order. And we'll even ship it worldwide. That's ialife.com, AYALife.com.
For millennia, mankind has been searching for answers to the big questions, such as, where did the universe come from? Where did we come from? Why are we here? Are we alone? And just what the heck is the Sasquatch all about? I can't promise you answers, and neither can the Woo Crew, but they invite you to join them Friday night at 7 p.m. Eastern, midnight in the UK, for Freaky Friday, exclusively on Truth Frequency Radio. Spirituality, multiverse, quantum mechanics, the occult, and so much conspiracy analysis that it will make your mind melt. Take my word for it. Freaky Friday. It's more than a show. It's the way of life. I am Stephen Hawking, and I am proud to be a Wookiee.
Real people, real radio.
Initiating the truth frequency.
This
is Truth Frequency Radio.
All right, maybe we're back. It's hard to tell because the sound quality hasn't been good on my end for the commercials and the music, but I think we're back. You know, I want to talk about one more thing before I go to the phone lines, and it's just I'm debating on talking about it as I say it out loud, but yeah, I think I want to talk about it. Again, it's happened a few times in this community. Relationships have come together, which is great, and over time the relationship didn't work out, and then it's like the people who are active in the community who they were contributing, and then the relationship happened and they were contributing, but then when the relationship fell apart, they also kind of left the work, or one of the people left the work, or that's what's going on with one of the people right now. He met a girl, and then the girl, it didn't work out, and now he spends all of his time like hating on the community. And it's just, when this kind of stuff happens, it reminds me of like why the military used to be all men back in the day. You start involving like sexuality and those kind of emotions, just things can get weird. And again, it's like, God, because their relationship didn't work out, they're taking it out on other people now and like targeting me. It's like, anyway, just people. I wish people could come together in what I'm doing here each day. Do people not see what the mission is here each day? Provide real knowledge and research and work to expose who is playing these games with us every day. Why is DJ Casper of Chicago the gun crime mecca, as they present it in the news? Why is he dead the same day there's a ghost gun banned federally? That's what we're trying to do each day, is get the knowledge out of the way we're being manipulated, which is impacting our lives and, making the future look a lot more grim than it needs to be. This is the mission to do the work. If you can meet somebody and have a relationship, that's great, but it's just so crazy to me how many people have come to this community over the years and been helpful and then just become like haters or given up. It's just, where are the actual soldiers and people who are dedicated to the cause and will continue to work and push to get this knowledge and information out there, because they understand, like I do, that this is the thing that literally proves who is pulling the strings on us, for what purpose. Again, the who, what, why, when, where. Who? The Jesuits. What? Daily manipulation. When? Since the 16th century at least. Why? For world control. Where? Pretty much everywhere. The Jesuits are pretty much established across the world along with the Catholic Church. And they've been in a lot of these countries that are supposedly our enemies for longer than this country's existed. Russia and China are a good example. But, it's just, God, it's just like, man. Woo, if it isn't one thing, it's the next. And it's always some new whiny guy coming out of the woodwork. And it's like, what's your problem? That nothing's changing over here. The mission isn't changing over here. Oh, a girl broke up with you, so now you think you can be a crybaby and just start blaming everybody for your problems? It's sad that so many people like this in society exist. How has such a society of losers been raised in America? It's a rhetorical question. It's because they destroyed families. Nobody grew up in a family. Everyone grew up raised by the state in the classroom, learning the bullshit, hardly knew their parents. That's the American story. Bunch of programmed babies still living in the classroom, waiting for teacher to tell them what to say, but now it's the newsman. And the other thing, it's just like, The people who are knocking down my door every day to talk to me, they're mostly really young people. And that's great, but it's like, where are the adults? God, it's just like, where are the adults at? I need more than kids 18 to early 20s. It has to be more than that really care about the work and are trying to constantly reach out. I mean, where are the adults at? Are there any adults? The adults are listening to Lil Baby and Da Baby. And now A Baby rapper girl's dead. All right. Anyway, I'm going to go out to the callers. I'm ranting. I'm annoyed. Let's go out to New York. He always starts us off right. 347, what's up?
Hey, what's up? What's up, Zach? You can hear me?
Yeah, what's going on?
I got 4 topics in this order. Sandra Bullock, Trump, Beyonce, Obama. First, I'm going to start with Sandra Bullock.
Okay.
Any crazy after all these years, we talked about her movie, Murder by Numbers, and the poster, and the 3 and the 8, and Sandra Bullock equals 83 in simple reduction.
And yeah, the news broke right after 8-3 about her partner's death.
And Sandra equals 21, and it's been 21 years since the movie, and her longtime boyfriend died at 57, and Sandra equals 57.
Yeah. And again,
and you know,
I was going to say that movie came out on April 19th, the day in history Ignatius of Loyola became the first superior general, and the husband dies on 8-5, going with the Jesuit motto, Isus Armenum Salvator. So
you know why? I finally figured out, like when these celebrities and their longtime partner died, you know why they use longtime partner? A long-time partner equals 187 and 79.
Yeah, there you go.
And in the reverse, simple and reduction is 218 and 83. And Sandra Bullock equals 218 and 83.
Yeah, you're right. All the headlines say long-time partner, indeed.
And long-time partner is the same thing as Sandra Bullock. So it's crazy. After all these years, you've been talking about that movie and that poster. It finally played out, right?
Yeah, there it is. I got it up on the screen so everyone can see.
Right now.
Sandra Bullock, longtime partner, both 218 and 83. Murder 83, death is 218 in the English extended version. Yeah.
And I got one more thing about Sandra Bullock before I go to Trump. You know what Sandra in Titanic equals 267. And her birthday is July 26, which can be written 267.
Yeah.
All right, my Trump point. You did a post about Trump, that letter of Lincoln. You did a post about Lincoln, something with Trump, right?
Well, I was just talking about all the 144s, the upcoming elections 144 days after Trump's birthday, just the assassination parallels.
Okay, so when you posted that, guess what I saw? I think I saw it on the news or somewhere. It said the reason why he getting charged for that January 6th is a law that came out of the Civil War during Lincoln. I think this is crazy. I think that did a post about Lincoln and Trump. And they talking about the reason he got charged is because of a law that came out of the Civil War in Lincoln.
And we know January 6th was all about the Civil War. We were saying it would be all about the Civil War before it even happened. And again, that's why it was on 6/1, like the Civil War began in 61. The Confederate. Okay, I got to look up. I didn't have that detail. I'll look it up.
All right, but the next one about Beyonce. This one will be quick. You know that dance who got stabbed up, right?
The one dancing to the Beyonce song.
Okay, he was voguing, right? He was voguing, whatever. Him and his friends was voguing. Don't you know Beyonce had a concert in New Jersey that same night he got stabbed?
I didn't realize she was right there. Well, that just adds to the ritual that much more.
Exactly. And plus he was voguing. When I think about voguing, I think about who had a song voguing? Madonna. Ain't Madonna's birthday coming up this month or something, and she just been sick recently?
Yeah, she died. Her birthday is the day Aretha Franklin and Elvis and Babe Ruth all died on.
So when I heard he was bogan, I thought about Beyonce and Madonna at the same time with that story.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. And yeah, Madonna's been having her health problems, so her tour is not happening. That's supposed to be going on right now.
Mm-hmm. Okay, this is my last one. The Obama one. Is it? I don't know. I don't know if I can find this, but I heard they said Obama's father was in 3 car accidents, right? And the third one was the one that killed him, right?
Right.
So think about 3 car crashes. He was the what presidential election did he run for?
Yeah, the relationship with 3 and 56. Yeah, he won the 56th election. And that reminds that little girl rapper that's dead shortly after Obama's birthday. Her name is Claire Hope, which equals 56, and Obama ran on Hope, so
ain't it crazy that his father was in 3 car accidents and the third one killed him and he ran for president in 56 election and 3 equals 56? Ain't that crazy?
Yeah, that's true. It says the last car accident of his father's was 1982. He died as a result of the third one in 82. I got to go back and look at that car accident. That was 26 years before he won president, 27 years before he took office.
So that's another 56. They have to give 56 to Obama's father being in 3 car accidents before he became president in the 56th presidential election. So that's another 56 for you.
Obama's father was married in 54. Yeah, I got to go back and look at that one.
So that was it. I just want to make those 4 quick points with you.
All right, you always have great points. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, you have a good night.
All right.
Take care. What's going on, Austin?
How you doing?
Doing all right. How are you?
Oh, just hanging in there, just getting ready to send the Washington, D.C. a stoologram.
Okay.
Yeah, it's crazy. We know. The future doesn't look sweet, does it? Looks pretty ugly.
Yeah, things have definitely looked better.
And it's all by design. It's all by design.
Indeed.
It's been a plan. It's been a plan for many, many, many years, and they're doing what they told us they would do. And they get away with it.
They are getting away with it.
They get away with murder and they get away with brainwashing most of the people. They get away with killing, experimenting, poisoning. It just gets crazier and crazier. And I wish I could do something about it. But it takes masses. We could all, just like Budweiser over. I love it how Budweiser. Jesus Christ, we could do this to them what they've done to us without even.
Yeah.
People have to get balls.
Yeah, they're definitely missing. They're definitely missing. You still there, caller?
I'm here, brother. I'm fucking here.
So, do you remember when Obama had the White House Correspondents' Dinner with Trump in attendance and joked that he was Simba and the Lion King?
I do.
Yeah, so what do you think the odds are? It's just a coincidence that the Lion King actor died at age 47 right after Obama's birthday when Obama took office at age 47.
This gematria stuff freaks me out. I don't know if I know some of it's got to be organic, But so it's definitely, the control and the manipulation and the power they have to do this shit, like to get away with, is mind-boggling.
It is mind-boggling. It is mind-boggling. But yeah, it's just not the Simba thing. It's that he died at 47, and that's the age Obama took office at. And of course, we know President and White House and government authority and Republican and Democrat, they're all 47. And Biden was the 47th VP and became president 47 years after being in D.C. And then this happens. It's gross. It's gross, and it just bothers me that nobody who has a platform talks about it. Like, how can Alex Jones? You like Alex Jones down there in Austin? How can he not talk about this?
I dislike him. Believe me, I don't like Alex like you think I do. I cuss him out a lot. I leave him messages, and I don't listen to him like I used to because he just pisses me off. He talks out of both sides of his mouth. We're winning. We're losing. We're winning. We're losing. We're winning. No, Alex knows a lot. I don't think he's owned and controlled. I think Alex is just who he is, and he's not perfect. But he did try to wake everyone up, and he did a damn good job at that, waking up people to this devil's world order, this evil scum world order, these scumbags that want to kill us, want to control us, and they brag about it.
Yeah, I'll give him that. He did help wake a lot of people up to the New World Order agenda, but he never really pinpointed who it was.
Well, he talks about the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, and
which is what everybody talks about, right? That's like the dead end.
George Soros.
That's another dead end. None of those things really run the world, though.
Yeah, it's the people above them. I guess, they're the Catholic Church and the Jews.
Which is what the Jesuits are.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, he won't say that.
We've been beat now. The country's been taken over, and I have little faith in us getting it back. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't feel it. I would feel it, but I don't.
Yeah, I know what you mean. So
it just I get mad, but I take a Xanax once in a while to calm my crazy ass fucking down.
Well,
that's
definitely what they want in this world. Big Pharma, they create all these problems as part of it too, man, because then you're buying their drugs.
Well, I don't take much. I don't take many, and I take the weak ones, and I'm not hooked on them, and I mean, I went 4 weeks without them, and it didn't bother me at all.
Hey, I gotta ask you a question. I don't want to give you a hard time. It's fine. It's fine, man. But here, just a little trivia question. What are the 2 most sued companies in the history of the world for wrongful death and injury?
Well, I would think it would be pharma.
They are both pharma companies. Do you know which 2 they are?
Pfizer and the other one, not Johnson, maybe Johnson & Johnson?
You're not far off. It's Pfizer and GlaxoSmithKline. And you know what's funny about Pfizer and GlaxoSmithKline?
I never heard of those cocksuckers.
Well, what's funny about Pfizer? Those two companies merged right before the COVID pandemic. The 2 most sued companies in the world also profited the most off the pandemic. And I mean, just think about that. I mean, how isn't that, it just makes me sick that this is going on, this level of mockery. And again, the reason the news media doesn't do anything about it is because they're getting paid by Pfizer and GlaxoSmithKline, so they're not bringing any light to that. But it just shows you what a sick joke it is.
It is a sick joke, and I wouldn't do it, and you wouldn't do it. People don't have, they're pussy whip pieces of shit. Pfizer, it needs to burn and fucking... I'll make, oh boy, I know this shit's fucked up. We need to put a stop to it. And first thing I do, well, I'm not going to say over the air.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, well, I'm glad you're out there, Austin. Appreciate you weighing in, and thanks as always.
I just hope a miracle happens. Shit.
It is going to take a miracle. I said that earlier today to somebody else. We need a miracle.
We need to get our asses a plan and fucking we can stop this excrement, this fucking shit.
Yeah.
They're scum.
Yeah, they are. They truly are. All right, appreciate it always, friend. You have a good night. Okay, let's go out to, hold on, I gotta let this person cut because they have the same name as one of my friends growing up in childhood, just in case it was the same person. 443, you're on.
Yeah, hey, how are you doing, Zach?
Yeah, doing well. How are you?
Good. I'm trapped here in the East Coast, right outside the Washington, D.C. area. It's very much Sleepville. And I've been talking about my protocol that I'm on a couple of times with you. And you asked me to call back on a Wednesday.
Okay.
To go further in detail. I've been on the horse-paced protocol for a year now. And without getting into the protocol, basically they have weaponized our parasites. So just because we drive cars and wear shoes doesn't make us any less of a mammal than any other mammal on the planet that's susceptible to getting parasites. And they have weaponized our parasites with the shit that we eat, namely sugar.
Yeah.
And processed crap.
Yeah, that's true.
The biggest processed crap on the market is breads and pastas. It's all bullshit processed crap. And then, of course, the sugar, and of course, what's in sugar, the biggest thing that has sugar in it that people consume each and every weekend, maybe every day, alcohol.
Yeah.
My protocol has enabled me to get all that out of my diet, and I'm maximizing the benefits of the ivermectin that I take that is killing off the bad parasites and the bad bacteria. And all of this is causing health issues. Our number one health issue is cancer and other diseases are caused by parasites in the body. And they may call it something cute. They may call it liver cancer. They may call it kidney cancer, anything. That's just where parasites have camped out and done their thing. And in the meantime, we're constantly ingesting ourselves with crap, feeding these parasites, and not getting rid of them. Myself and others have have testimonies of the cures, things that they have had, cancers, ulcers, heart disorders, diabetes. People have said that they cured all that. And the biggest thing that this can do is basically shoves a stick up Big Pharma's ass. If we could collectively take the money out of Big Pharma, think about what that does to their agenda.
Right, that's a big moneymaker for them. That's what I was saying to the last caller, like, I don't know if you really want to be on any of their pills. That's the game they're playing with us. They're giving us the mental conditions to get on their pills. So,
I mean, they're making 10 times more money a year on the cure, on the treatments of the adverse reactions from from the vaccines and other shit.
Well, and like I always make the point, you go in the grocery store, it's all this junk food that's terrible for you, and then everyone's at the pharmacy line after they get their groceries to treat all the ailments from the crap they're putting in their body. It's such an obvious system. Subsidize the junk food and then make the big profits selling them the drugs to treat all the harm they've done to themselves.
And the biggest thing is that when you clean your body out, you clean out all the parasites out of your body and keep them out, it's amazing what a decalcified pineal gland is. Most people don't even have a clue. Most people don't even know what the fucking pineal gland is that I talk to. I'm like I said, I'm in the middle of Naziville, fucking Maryland.
Sure, the mind's eye.
I mean, I like it here, though. It's got water and woods and everything else, but it's just full of sheeple and zombies, and there's nowhere to turn. I'm waiting for either people to die off or somehow or another wake up. And my method is a proven way for people to wake up and at least see Big Pharma for what it is. They don't have your interest in mind, yours or mine or anyone else's. They have their interest in mind. I can.
We got a commercial break, caller. Sit tight. We'll come back after the break.
All right.
This is iHeartRadio.
iHeartRadio.
iHeartRadio makes you want to move. When you have a great melody, song that's right.
Instantly connected.
I love it when the beat goes.
Did you know you can listen to Truth Frequency Radio on iHeartRadio? Just download the app to your smartphone, or smart TV, and get the best of TFR wherever you are.
Radio.
I'll see you there.
So, you love talk radio, then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes app.
What's up? It is time for us to adopt a new company brand to encompass everything that we do, to reflect who we are and what we hope to build. I am proud to announce that starting today, our company is now Meta. We're going to talk about the metaverse. Meta. I thought I was supposed to be the robot. Meta. This could be very positive for our society. Meta. I hope that you will join us. You're going to be able to do almost anything you can imagine. This isn't about spending more time on screens. It's about making the time that we already spend better. We're starting to see a lot of these technologies. Next, there are avatars. And that's how we're going to represent ourselves in the metaverse. Alright, perfect. I thought I was supposed to be the robot. You'll see the facial expressions. You get to decide when you want to be with other people. When you want to block someone from appearing in your space, or when you want to take a break and teleport to a private bubble. Meta. We're going to talk about the metaverse. Meta. I thought I was supposed to be the robot. Meta. This could be very positive for our society. Meta. I hope that you will join us. I want to share what we imagine is possible, and not in the way that we are meant to use technology. Not to be too realistic. That's a glimpse of the kinds of experiences that you might have in the metaverse. You're going to really feel like you're there with other people. I also want to be upfront about the fact that there's a ton that we just don't know yet. So we're going to approach this with humility and openness. Meta. We're going to talk about the metaverse. Meta. I thought I was supposed to be the robot. Meta. This could be very positive for our society. Meta.
You must unite with citizens.
We are TFR, Truth Frequency Radio.
Condition orange. Condition orange. Situation Delta in effect. Please enter your agent number now, followed by the hash key.
We have to create culture. Don't watch TV. Don't read magazines. Don't even listen to NPR.
Time comes when silence is betrayal.
More for themselves and less for everybody else. But I'll tell you what they don't want. They don't want a population of citizens capable of critical thinking. They don't want well-informed, well-educated people capable of critical thinking. They're not interested in that. That doesn't help them.
Think for yourself. Question authority.
This code has been compromised.
All right, we're back, Truth Seeker. Caller got interrupted, so we're going back out to Maryland. 443, you're back on.
So I'm 55 years old, and I wish I would have known all this shit 30 years ago. But right now, I'm making myself younger by the protocol that I'm on. And I'm not selling anything. I'm just trying to get people aware that there's a way out without doing anything other than for yourself. And you can you can become your own doctor. Now, I'm not saying you can repair a broken bone or a torn ligament or something you might have to get sewn back together. I'm talking about the big pharma shit that people are on and the crap that people eat.
Yeah.
And we could take ownership of that ourselves, and we don't need big pharma in our lives at all. And that's the biggest hit. That I think that would be the biggest red pill that big pharma would ever have to swallow.
The problem is, the thing that would be hard about doing that is people are so lazy and they love the convenience and they don't want to give up their bad lifestyle choices that they enjoy when they can just have the pill. Sweet lady, she's a pharmacist now, and I really hated when she went into pharmacy, but in a way, it's just amazing how it's worked out. And she really is the ideal pharmacist. She tries to talk people into, instead of being on that pill, hey, why not make this life choice instead? This would actually be better for you. And she gets frustrated because people just kind of shrug their shoulders and say, I like eating that or I like drinking that, so I'm going to keep taking this pill. It's just like, people don't want to change.
And she may even know they have an ivermectin form that's a pill form that's so watered down I wouldn't trust it. The purest form of ivermectin in this country, unfortunately, is the horse paste, and the only reason I know that is good, it's not tampered with, is because the manufacturers of that horse paste could not afford the lawsuit of the horse owners, especially the Kentucky Derby breeds and the Preakness and the Belmont, all those breed of horses that their owners need their horses healthy. They couldn't afford that lawsuit. But the biggest thing, I mean, your wife as a pharmacist may know more about the pill form, but I wouldn't trust it.
Sure.
It doesn't take much. I've lost almost 40 pounds without sweating. That's another thing. Going to the gym, hitting it hard. I used to do that all the time. It's actually counterproductive. You don't want to turn your body into a terrarium, raising your body temperature to an environment that's conducive for parasites. I've switched to drinking nothing but lemon water. switching my body pH to alkaline, which is very non-conducive to a parasitic atmosphere.
Yeah, that's
They
what I understand.
like that sugary, sweet, acidic, all the crap that we eat. Sugar.
Yeah, sugar.
Legalized crack.
Overwhelmingly too much sugar in our food, and what they give us on food labels for the amount of sugar that's acceptable per day. A lot of people who actually know about nutrition say that's total BS. That's big corporation making it seem like we should be having that much sugar each day, which we should not. I've heard from a lot of health experts.
I've got a metal detox that I'm on. Anyone that eats a lot of fish, mercury, meat, iron, beef, iron, there's a lot of metal in your body. And then including the vaccines. Who the hell knows what's in them? We already know that people are suffering medical ailments left and right based on the vaccine, but it's all crap. And they're just, it seems like people are back to endorsing the big government, even though they tried to shove it up our ass with COVID for the last 3 years. More and more people have forgotten about that.
Yeah.
But that's my soapbox. And I'd love to send you an email or something on my protocol on paper. And it's not my protocol. It's a protocol that someone developed that's shared by thousands on various social media pages.
Yeah.
If I just emailed you on the Gematria email, would that be something you'd get?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I have. I'm just beating a dead horse.
All right.
But I'm proof that it works. I've healed. The body is capable of healing itself. Like when you cut your finger, your skin grows back. Everything in your body is capable of healing itself. I've gotten rid of a ton of problems across my body, arthritis, gingivitis, you name it. It's gone. And it's because I'm at a point now where my body is just healing, and you could feel it. I could feel it. It's a Hertzheimer reaction. It's when the parasites are in your body, and you throw something at them that kills them. They release a toxin that before they die off, and it's kind of like someone likened it to a jellyfish. A jellyfish doesn't necessarily sting you on purpose. It just didn't want you to touch it.
Sure.
Same thing with these parasites. You cut open a body, and you can see. I've seen videos of parasites that have been in the human body for years and years, if not decades. 3-4 feet long, 5 feet long, and they just look like bowls of spaghetti.
Sure.
And it's disgusting. But there's a way out. Trust me. Trust me, I'm not a doctor.
Well, I appreciate the call and the information. A lot of what you've heard and researched is the same for me. So thank you.
You bet.
All right. You have a good night. Announced today, you guys. Today in the news, we said that there's rumors the Kobe Bryant statue announcement's coming soon, and they're saying they're eyeing the date August 8th, 2024. 8/8/24. Of course, Kobe wore number 8, number 24. I wonder if they end up just changing it to 8/24/24. I mean, that is Kobe Bryant Day. Be 16 days before Kobe Bryant Day, but I just measured from the day he died to the unveiling of the statue will be 54 months and days. 54 months and days. Remember, he died the Sunday before Super Bowl 54. His full name, Kobe Bean Bryant, equals 54, like Jesuit orders 54. And then the big way, Jesuit orders 144. And today, on the day leaving 144 days left in the year, they announced that the statue is being eyed for 54 months after his death. And what have we been saying the whole time? It's very clear that Kobe went out in a Jesuit ritual, if that is in fact... Whatever happened, I mean, if it was just his character was killed from the world stage, it's still a Jesuit ritual. Was he really murdered? Did he really die? It's clear the Jesuits were behind this. There's so many fingerprints on it. And again, just dying at age 41 on the Pope's 41st day of his age while traveling from Catholic Mass. It's amazing how many people think that's instantly got to be a coincidence. And it just shows you it's because people are so programmed. No way, the Pope's good guy. Got that in my programming. But yeah, 54 months after the death, 8/8/24. Kobe, one of the biggest stars there ever was. Remember, Kobe scored 60 in his last game. Moses Malone, who was drafted out of high school by Utah, died at 60. Remember, the first 5 books of Moses... The year Moses Malone won the championship for Kobe's 76ers, Kobe turned 5 that year. Those NBA Finals in 83, the same year Bear Bryant died on the same day as Kobe Bryant, but all in 83. Those finals began 60 days after Moses Malone's birthday and ended 281 days after Kobe's birthday, the 60th prime. And then Daryl Dawkins equals 60. Daryl Dawkins was the second player ever drafted out of high school. Both Moses Malone and Daryl Dawkins, who both have Philadelphia basketball connections, who are both drafted out of high school, both died right before Kobe's death. Daryl Dawkins died on the day, leaving 126 days left in the year, only for Kobe to die on 126. And with regards to the whole high school thing, high school in Gematria equals 104, and Kobe's last game was on the 104th day of the year. But anyway, biblical. The first 5 books of Moses Malone. Exodus is the second book in the first 5 books of Moses. The Torah are the first 5 books of Moses. Exodus 4:1 is where the story begins of Moses doubting God, so God turns his staff into a snake. In Gematria, Moses Malone equals 41, like Kobe Bryant. Moses Malone dies right before Kobe, who's nicknamed after a snake. Kobe dies in a big Catholic 41 ritual. And Exodus equals 74. Moses Malone drafted in 74. Kobe dead during the 74th NBA season. And the point I was trying to make initially, these guys are both sports stars. Moses Malone was drafted by the Utah Stars. Kobe finishes his career against Utah. 88 stars in the constellation, and now they want to put up his statue on 8/8 after what they just did yesterday with Daystar Peterson or Tory Lanez. Well, as I'm finishing my little short book on Kobe, this will get inserted, and it just proves my point. That's why I get frustrated, because the points that I'm making every day, they're getting proven further and further. Whatever the odds are that all of this was a coincidence for the last decades, those odds just get slimmer and slimmer. And they're already, the odds of all this being a coincidence are way less likely than the odds of winning the lottery, which means it's not a coincidence. And it's too bad more people can't admit that. But people might change, though. My sister who's been getting all of her jabs and boosters, she has the flu right now. She's super sick. And it is going around. A lot of people are sick right now, and you see in the news they're reporting that there's a huge COVID wave. A huge COVID wave in the middle of summer. Do you ever remember people getting sick everywhere in summer? I don't ever remember that at any point in my life until these post-pandemic years, since people have been getting inoculated. All of a sudden now, all these outbreaks in the summer. My sister's name's Jen. Jen, what happened? I thought I was an idiot for not getting a jab. You got them all, and you've been getting sick a bunch. I've been healthy as everything. Maybe she would have saw one of my videos if it wasn't taken down for medical misinformation constantly. Nathan, shout out to Nathan. Nathan says, what are the odds that the new Kobe statue is going to have a serpent on it? Again, LeBron's passing him in points scored in Philly, Kobe's hometown the day before his death on the court with the snakes painted on it. The Moses thing. The black mamba venom that makes human hearts stop. You know, Kobe the Black Mamba, dead as coronavirus, is hitting the U.S. as he's buried in Corona Del Mar in a big 201 ritual. The only thing that's disappointing to me about this is that I have to wait a whole nother year. I can't wait to be at the Kobe Bryant statue unveiling. We're going to seize that moment. Mark down in your calendars right now, August 8th, 2024. Time's going to be getting short August 8th, 2024. I'm telling you, they're bringing something more in 2025. Could be part 2 of what we saw in 2020. But yeah, of course it has to be by the numbers. Okay. Let's take some more calls. All right, what's up, Joey?
Colin Cowherd under fire for comments he made yesterday. Colin Cowherd is a sports commentator.
Yeah, he's out of the Pacific Northwest. He's up here from where I'm from. Colin Cowherd. The cow herd. He's herding the cows. He is a coward. You know, I'm pretty sure that he watches what we do because just some weeks I've noticed things he's saying. I'm like, I feel like he's trying to talk to us. He's always saying there's no way sports are rigged. These sports conspiracy theorists on YouTube. Yeah, I think he's been watching. Hey, Colin, how come my college picks are better every week than yours? Anyway.
Yesterday, he made a list of quarterbacks who won't win a Super Bowl, and he listed Dwayne Haskins, who's dead, and Dwayne Haskins died on the 99th day of the year, if you remember.
All right, I do.
And forwards and backwards, Colin Cowherd's full name is 99, both ways. And just a sick joke. And 93rd prime. If you write out 93rd prime in words, it equals 99 in the most pure cipher. And the reason that matters is from when Haskins died until Cowherd made these comments yesterday was a span of 487 days, and 487 is the 93rd prime. And of course, order of Illuminati is 93. But yesterday had 59 date numerology too. Colin Cowherd's currently 59 years old, and Dwayne Haskins played college football in Ohio, the 17th state, 59th to 17th prime. And yeah, just it's a complete sick joke. Haskins dead on the 99th day of the year, then this with Colin Cowherd, his full name, 99 both ways. So I wanted to get that point out of the way. And then a second point, I have to, maybe you're just not understanding the people out there. When Tony Bennett died, I connected his death to Cam Newton, and the comparison might seem out of the way on surface level, but I assure you it's not. And his famous song, his signature song, I Left My Heart in San Francisco. And of course, Cam Newton, he lost the Super Bowl in San Francisco. And of course, if you're talking to somebody who thinks sports are real, they would say, Cam, the night of the Super Bowl, he had his heart ripped out. Because, of course, people who think sports are real, that wouldn't be going...
Okay, you've already done this call literally, and I told you that it wasn't a good call because it's still just like reaching, and it's not concrete. And okay, we're going to go and survey 100 Americans and go, do you agree with the statement that Cam Newton left his heart in San Francisco? I mean, Okay. Anyway, there's more people I don't want to let more people get in, but thanks as always, Joey. Take care. Okay. I mean, it's just not getting it, man. I didn't want to get into it. It's just he connects everything through Cam Newton. Again, Tony Bennett died on the 202nd day of the year. His big heart about San Francisco. San Francisco equals 202. Tony Bennett died on July 21st, which is the day in history that Neil Armstrong supposedly set foot on the moon. He has a song about the moon. Those things are easy to explain. He likes to connect everything. Like, the mecca of his world is Cam Newton. So everything's Cam Newton. Cam Newton's the center of everything. Like, if you remember when he did a brainstorm idea, on his piece of paper, Cam Newton would be at the center, and then he figured out how to branch everything back to Cam Newton. So Cam Newton did lose the Super Bowl in San Francisco. Out of all the things we can say about Tony Bennett's death, are we going to lead off with, man, what this really was about was Cam Newton, because, Cam Newton lost in the Super Bowl in San Francisco. What about all the quarterbacks that lost to San Francisco? Can't we just start connecting all them too? I mean, again, these people are doing riddles every day. Is it potentially connected to Cam Newton? Is he part of it? I'm not saying that's totally wrong, but it's just like there's no point in even bringing up that point because it's the longest stretch of explanation, and then you have to start bringing in things like your interpretation of, yeah, his heart was broken when he lost that Super Bowl. Was it? I don't remember that being like a headline ever. Cam Newton, my heart is broken in San Francisco. I don't ever remember that being a storyline. So what I do each day is take the crap that they shove down our throats and show the ritual and often forecast accurately, like how we forecasted that Cam Newton would lose that Super Bowl to Peyton Manning in October of that season. But again, like, don't call back in and argue something to me. It's just going to make me think that you're even more of a dunce. Okay? God, nobody's convinced by that. Ugh. Logic, you guys, common sense. Got to be better. Let's go out to South Carolina. What's up, 803?
Oh, hey, Zach.
Yeah, what's up?
Oh, hey. Yeah, you heard the Kobe death ritual ebook. I think, I know the guy's name is R.V. Romero. I think when you went to California, you talking about the ebook.
R.V. Romero?
Yeah. I think it was the Kobe Bryant Death Ritual by R.V. Romero, Volume 1.
The gentleman who put together the short book?
Yeah.
He's in the chat right now.
Yeah,
if he can link his eBay, because he sells that book on eBay. He's in the chat right now. His handle's Gorilla Eye.
Yeah, I think you, because I typed search Kobe Death Ritual ebook, and I think you could find it listed on the www.qrybs.com/shop website. But yeah, that's a good ebook. I was looking at it. You can show, I guess, I'm probably going to show people I know this book. You can just print it off. It's only like 15 or 16 pages, and then show people. People could do that for Kobe Bryant Day. It's coming up August 24th. So.
Okay, yeah, we'll definitely do that. He had his book out there when we were down there in April. I'll have my new book out for Kobe too. And again, I think I've taken the Kobe research to a whole new level. I think it's way more undeniable than it ever was before. So.
Okay, and you were working on like a short book for 9/11 or maybe Trump?
Yeah, I was realizing I should put together like a short thing on just all the 144s they've done with past assassinations and everything going on with Trump and Biden right now, and Elon Musk and Robert F. Kennedy. I almost felt like I should get that out there real quick, a really short book on the history of 144 and politics, take it all the way back to Lincoln, and just a short book, maybe 10 pages, 10 pictures, and see if people will look at that and take notice, and perhaps it pays off in a big way, because maybe we're not too far down the road and we got another big 144 assassination ritual, and people are saying, see, I'll leave the last page of the book where you can write it in yourself and draw your own picture. So, yeah, that's kind of the plan. Get out some short books. I've been saying it for a while, but I intend to get it done.
Okay, that's good. You plan to do a radio podcast or something?
Yeah, I also want to do that. Gorilla Eye in the chat is listening, and he says, if you're on the YouTube stream, go in the chat, and he says, if you give him your email, he'll send you a free copy of the book.
Okay. Yeah. Have you heard of something called ham radio?
Yeah, ham radio, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's another way to communicate to audiences long distance. Before we had cell phones and the internet, I think the police and fire departments use ham radio. I think the maximum range is about 4,000 miles. But if you want to use a ham radio, I think you got to get a license. I think there's 3 types of licenses: technician, general, and an amateur extra license. And I think the test is administered by the FCC. So it's just something to look at.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, and last thing, have you heard of Edward Bernays?
That name's familiar. Bernays?
Yeah, he's signaling for his nephew.
Yeah,
and he
Bernays.
did a book called he did a book called Propaganda. There was a YouTube video, I think it's titled The Empire Files, Propaganda and Engineer of Consent.
I've talked about this before. He died on 9/3, Propaganda 93. We'll be right back, everybody. Quick commercial break.
Are you committed? Because without commitment, nothing happens. You have to be committed through the storm and the rain and the heartache and the pain and the disappointment, or you're not gonna make it. It's a commitment. It's not a feeling. While they was golfing, I was studying. While they was shooting hoops, I was studying. While they was playing games and sitting up and eating and joking in the restaurant, I was studying. You can't get out of something that you're not willing to put into it. You have to put your everything, your mind, your energy, your effort, your discipline, your tenacity. Nothing is going to jump out the fire. If you don't throw something in there, it's not going to happen. But if we fight every day, one of them days going to be my day.
Hey everyone, it's Chris Gio, founder of Truth Frequency Radio and host of Beyond the Veil. The mainstream media and establishment are running scared right now, and they've prominently featured TruthFrequencyRadio.com as number 89 on the federal government's hit list, also known as the fake news list, which is essentially a list of sites slated for censorship on Facebook, YouTube, Google, and other social media. Now is the time for you to get involved. Share your favorite TFR shows far and wide on forums and social media. Tell your friends and family about your favorite shows. If you're a business owner, get in touch with us to feature your product or service right here on TFR. And if you haven't done so already, become a TFR supporter now and get unlimited commercial-free downloads in high quality. Visit truthfrequencyradio.com/sign-up. Thank you for making TFR the leader in independent and uncensored talk radio. Truth Frequency Radio, your protection from deception.
True initiation is an inward journey. It's a spiritual path that is totally inward. It has nothing to do with anything external to you.
I want to determine if the Grand Architect is indeed what I believe it to be, which is the artificial intelligence.
The initiatory path is one of self-discovery and self-revealing. It's not a journey that someone can hold your hand through.
Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I want to take you through the steps of initiation. Remember, you are divinity.
Step beyond the veil with Chris and Sherry Gio. Fridays and Saturdays, 7 p.m. to 10 p.m.
We are TFR.
My fleeting destiny is all I need to rely on.
Truth Frequency Radio.
All right, we're back, Truth Seeker. Last caller was pointing out Edward Bernays. Yeah, that's a good person to look into in history. And again, he seemingly died by the numbers. He's known for propaganda. Died on 9/3, the 9th day of the 3rd month. Propaganda 93. Special number there. About the 93 World Trade Center bombing. You think that was propaganda? But yeah, thank you, South Carolina. Great call. And I think it was Michigan who's up next. Michigan, you're on.
Hey, Brother Hubbard, how are you doing tonight?
Doing all right. How are you?
I'm doing great. Excuse me. So I want to touch on some of the stuff that guy early was talking about health, and he's right on a lot of that stuff, but, you know, I could challenge him on a lot because my mentor is not only a naturopath, he's a comparative pathologist. That means he does autopsies on animals and people. And he's the guy that tells the doctors how and why they killed their patients. He's also a large game veterinarian. He was in Africa for 2 years, and he pretty much saved the white rhinos and African elephants from extinction in the mid-60s. He's done close to 50,000 autopsies. So the body has 7 buffering systems. You cannot alkalinize the body by drinking lemon juice or lemon water. It's impossible. The stomach is a bag of acid, and whatever goes in the stomach comes out acid unless you neutralize that acid with some alkaline water or something alkaline actually neutralizes that stomach acid, which will kill you. You don't want to neutralize your stomach acid. It's supposed to be 1.2 on that alkaline scale. So the body does it by itself if you nutrify the body. The body needs, according to Doc, the body's made of 90 essential nutrients. And those are the raw materials the body has to have in order to do what it was designed to do, heal itself. That guy's right. Yeah, you can heal broken bones. The body heals broken bones all day long, forever. Oh, now they put plates and screws and, all this crap in it to, it actually hinders the healing. So these doctors, they are a bunch of quacks. They're led by the pharmaceuticals. And guess what, folks? Ivermectin, it's a pharmaceutical. It's a drug. I use, if I got parasites, I take wild-crafted or organically grown herbal tinctures that kill. We've got the product. And he don't sell anything, but, I'm a distributor in a company that Doc created. He doesn't get paid by the company. He buys all his own nutrition, but he is the foremost leading expert in nutrition. And he taught us this stuff, and it works. I'm 64, going on 65, and I have not been sick a day in my life since 2006. Colloidal silver is a magic bullet. It literally, it's incredible. Everybody needs to be looking into colloidal and ionic silver, nanoparticles. Okay, you're not going to turn blue. The blue man was a psyop. They paid that guy to turn blue. He looks just like Papa Smurf. You ever look at that guy, Zach?
Papa Smurf?
He's called the Blue Man.
Well, the Smurfs are
This
blue,
guy
right?
Right. He looks like Papa Smurf.
Okay.
He was on Good Morning America. I don't remember, before I even ever heard about silver. He was making his own silver with 240 volts in salt water, and he was making a paste, and he spread it on his entire body every day for 3 years to turn what he looks like. I think he's dead now, but they used him so we would be afraid of silver. Okay, silver kills all viruses, all bad bacteria, all pathogens, all parasites, and all fungus. It is incredible. And you can't afford to overdose on silver. Now, can you turn blue? You can, if you take the wrong stuff and, you guzzle it or spread it on your body like that moron did. He got paid. He was a psyop. I make my own silver. I have a machine that's called the Silver Lungs Generator. I don't get paid for it. Silverlungs.com, silverlungs.com. Everybody can make a lifetime supply of colloidal and ionic silver for pennies a day. It's an investment that will last a lifetime. You'll pass it down from generation to generation. I love it. I've seen it. The things that it's done for me and my family, it's incredible. Now, how much poison is too much? The guy was right. Bread, pasta, that's the cheapest food they can make. And what they make it out of, wheat, barley, rye, and oats, got a gluten or a gliadin protein that destroys your villi. The villi are the part of your small intestine that absorb nutrition. If you don't have villi, you can't absorb the nutrients that you take. Now, if you got parasites, they love nutrition too. They'll eat your nutrition that you take. So you won't get the benefit from them unless you kill those parasites. You don't got to take drugs to kill parasites. Herbs. The Creator created herbs as medicine. Nutrition isn't medicine, it's nutrition. It's the building blocks of life, or the raw materials the body has to do what it's supposed to do. Now, I said earlier, how much poison is too much? I've got a great analogy. Dad makes a batch of chocolate chip cookies for the kids. Hey kids, come on, the chocolate chip cookies are ready. They come running in, yay! And they look at the cookies and they're like, Dad, there's dog poop in those cookies. He says, it's just a little.
Okay.
That's my analogy. How much poison is too much?
Yeah, I get it.
Just a little. People say, I tell them, oh, you can't eat gluten, don't eat bread, don't eat no wheat. I hardly eat any of that. I hardly eat any. Okay, it's just a little. All right, that's all I got, Zach. You have a great night, and I will listen every Wednesday for the rest of my life, or as long as you keep playing this show. Thanks, brother.
All right, appreciate it, friend. Thank you. You have a good night.
All right.
Yeah, take care.
You too.
Okay, let's go out to, I think, Kansas. Kansas, 785.
Zach is not a good Samaritan. 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 Zach is not a good Samaritan.
I mean, just like, what a weird thing to call with on repeat. I don't know, Good Samaritan. I think a lot of people, if they saw, again, I'm a very nice person in public. I've helped out a lot of people. I think a lot of people would think that I'm a Good Samaritan. So I don't know why you call in and say that on your troll repeat. I have done a lot of things. For the record, I was also born at Good Samaritan Hospital. Just for the record. Let's go out to, it's George. What's up, George?
Hello, Zach.
Hello.
Zach, I'm sorry. I thought the two were. I wasn't planning on being on tonight, but because something else happened, well, thank you for taking my call. How are you doing this evening?
It's going well. How have you been?
Oh, all right. So a couple of things. Did you talk about the death over the weekend of the keyboardist for the Kinks, Von Gosselin?
Your call's a little bit broken up, but somebody's keyboardist.
Okay, John Gosling.
I didn't see that one.
He was a keyboard. Oh, okay. He died over the weekend. I didn't catch his birthday. He was 75 years old. He was with the Kinks from 1970 to 1978, and he joined them just prior to the release of their hit "Low Love." And I said his name is John Gosling. I don't know much about his background other than he was English. He played for the Kinks, and he joined them maybe less than a month before they released their single "Low Love." As a matter of fact, the first time he performed with them, they were on the TV show Top of the Pops, which was a British program. Now, as I said, it's John Gosling. So it is pure speculation on my part. Do you think it could be correlated to the movie
Barbie and Ryan Gosling?
Barbie.
Yeah, that's kind of the way things work. It's probably exactly what happened.
Okay, well, it seems so obscure because that song came out 1970, 53 years ago, over half a century ago, and he left the band in 1978, and he was just basically a peripheral member. If you ask most people, can you name any member of the Kinks? Okay, most people might be able to say Ray Davies, the lead singer, possibly his brother Dave, and that's probably it, unless you happen to be a Kinks fan. Almost nobody would have known the name John Gosling. Oh, who? Oh, he played in the Kinks? Really? When? Oh, I've heard of him. So if you watch the video, he has a very prominent beard in the top of the Pops performance. So you're thinking Barbie. So why, other than having the same surname, is there a nexus between the two?
I'd have to do some more research on it. He died on 8/4. Does Mattel make Barbie?
Yes, I believe so.
Mattel has the Gematria of 84. He died on 8/4. So
okay, very good.
Could be a start.
Yes. By the way, okay. And by the way, Zach, one of the things I appreciate, you may be a better researcher because when I'm looking at people, I always look at their birthday if possible, their death day if applicable. I look at when a song was released, a movie was released, or something along those lines, because there has to be a reason why they chose that particular date. If I could just mention one other thing, I'm not online right now, so I'm just trying for memory. Can you do me a favor? Could you look up the film Zulu, 1964?
Zulu?
Yes.
Okay.
Have you ever seen it?
I haven't. 2 hours and 18 minutes, 1964.
Okay, I would highly recommend it.
You're cutting out again, George. What is it about Zulu?
Okay, I would recommend it. I put it in your hopper. I don't need to tell you what to do for a myriad reason. So it's about the 1879 Force Rourke strips in what is now South Africa. So
it's breaking up too much, George. It's too hard to hear you right now. It's like it's all every other word we're hearing.
Okay, I'm at the supermarket. And
call us back. Call us back, George. I'll take your call when you call back in, but call us back.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, have a good night. I'll look more into the Kinks keyboardist with the name Gosling as well. South Carolina? South Carolina? Hello?
Hey, Zach. This is Jay.
Is this Jay, who's normally in Atlanta?
No. I have called in before, but I was just wondering, did you hear about Amazon making palm readers that are in Whole Foods now?
Yeah, that
inside Whole Foods.
That was launched on the 201st day of the year. On the 201st day of the year, they started that. Like the Holy Bible's 201, like reading the mark in your hand right from the Bible.
Damn, bro, just like every single day now, it's like, even if you don't, like, even if you are someone who normally doesn't see things, like now you can really just see shit for what it is. Like a lot of people are coming to me, becoming like more aware, more woke of how evil the world is, you know?
Right.
I actually live in Denver, super big Masonic city. One of my friends said that he is a Mason, and he said that one of the things is that you have to believe in a higher power, and that higher power is a God. And he said that his God is the Baphomet. So I feel like that was just interesting to me, hearing that, and just also listening to, you know, the things that you say, and just seeing how the world is. Like, it's truthfully evil.
About Baphomet, let's remind people, in Gematria, Baphomet equals 35, like Satan equals 35, like Catholic equals 35. The reshuffling of Satan is Santa, and we're associating Santa with December 25th. 1225 has a square root of 35. So, and the Knights Templar who served the Catholic Church were burned at the stake for worshiping Baphomet. So, I mean, the historical timeline's there, the code's there, the rituals are there. Having us celebrate Santa on Jesus' makeshift birthday, according to the Catholic Church, a reshuffling of Satan. It's obvious they've inverted everything, and they got people. You know, I just, watching my nephews and niece grow up with their spoiled Christmases, I just saw how bad it was. It just, as an adult, it just dawned on me, watching these spoiled children get these, you know, thousands of dollars of gifts every Christmas, and then they'd still be angry and upset because they didn't get enough, or one of the siblings got something that they thought was cooler than them. I'm like, do these kids know? I mean, look at, they got the world, man, living in like the nicest neighborhood, this nice ass house, the big pool in the backyard, and a hot tub, and $5,000 of Christmas presents and all this shit that every other kid probably wants. And look at them. They're miserable. They're fighting with each other. They're crying because they didn't get... It's just like, this society that we've created is just crazy. So,
hell, it's even worse now. This generation is fucked.
Yeah. No, and it's funny watching her children grow up, man, because the oldest one did well, but the ones behind it are some problem children, and man, it's not an easy time to raise kids, but yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring up the palm reading thing. I just feel like there's just another way for them to desensitize us for what's to come, and program people to, you know, visually see this is, you know, what's next. And I feel like maybe some major event may happen. I know they bring up aliens. I know they bring up war. Maybe some sort of conflict happens to where we just have to go to one currency, one government.
Yeah, it's coming. It's coming. I mean, they've already almost got us there, but yeah, I appreciate the observations. Thank you.
Oh yeah. Also, if you ever have a chance, please come to Denver. I have a 420 podcast.
I might be in Denver sooner than later. So yeah, that'll probably happen.
All right. Nice talking to you, bro.
All right. Yeah. Good talking to you. Take care. Peace. Just for a little more follow up on George's question about the Goslings. Look at this. John Gosling's dead August 4th, right? Ryan Gosling's birthday just happens to be the same day as the Superior General. That's interesting. November 12th. He happens to be 42 years old right now. Jesuit equals 42 and 84. The older Gosling's dead on 8/4. But look at this. From Ryan Gosling's birthday to the death of the Gosling from the Kinks is 38 weeks into his age. We know death, murder, killing, R.I.P. They're all 38. The name Gosling itself is 38. And again, Ryan Gosling, he's on top of the movie world right now. Record-setting Barbie movie, plays Ken doll. I mean, could it be any more perfect? George, you know what would impress me if George calls in one of these weeks, if he's listening right now? If George called in, instead of like asking me like, what's the connection with this? George, call in and do one of your own decodes. This stuff does. Notice how every time George calls in with these things, we're figuring it out in seconds on the phone. He can do it too. Has George not heard me talk about 38 and murder? I mean, I don't know how that's possible when you're calling in every week, but it's right there. From Ryan Gosling's birthday to John Gosling's death, 38 weeks. Yeah, and the reason it is obvious is because you're hearing all about how big the Barbie movie is and Ryan Gosling's the star in it. So what are the odds that John Gosling's dead right now? What are the odds of that? I feel like maybe it's that. Is Ryan Gosling... I've just over the years, we've talked about 75 with the Oscars. This other Gosling's dead at age 75. I mean, is Kendall going to get an Oscar? For playing a fake plastic person. It's kind of like what America's become. All right, let's go out to... I'm losing track of where we're supposed to be. I think 951. 951, you're on. $951. Hello? Okay, let's go out to 772. 772, you're on.
Hey, Zach, what's up?
You know, doing the show.
Wait. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it was my headphones. Yeah, what's up? So I guess, are we going to talk? Can we talk about the board game on this one? You said that yesterday we were going to talk about it.
Yeah, people can call in about ideas for the game. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Here, let me just say something real quick, because I saw your comment, and again, the point of the game isn't really for someone like you, to be perfectly honest. Again, the point of the game is to get people to learn about gematria and why it's relevant. That's the point of the game. So there can be another game made that's more for people who are like into the work and doing the work all the time, but really I'm just trying to think of a way to get the information to people.
Like the way that I see it spreading is like, you know, people like me will buy the game and play it with people who don't know what gematria is, so that way they like learn it, you know, because that's how it would start. My questions about the game, I did it later because I thought about it more. A card game could definitely be successful. Like people do play those games a lot, and people buy like new card games. I've seen it. But the problems that I have with the game is like, you know, I don't know. Like I want to be honest about it, you know, just so that way it can be like the best thing. I don't want to just like blindly support. I want to give like honest feedback so we can like make the best product. But I think that as it stands, the idea is kind of boring for like what the point of the game is. And one of the other problems that I have is like, the mechanic for how the game works. You were saying that like, you know, like you find the relation of like the rapper's name with like the day that he was jailed, right? And, you know, basically you're just decoding his name and seeing that, you know, his name equals 88 and he got arrested on the 88, which it says in the card. If the whole game, like all 148 cards are just like that, then like people are just going to get the point like after a couple turns, and then like it's not really going to be challenging.
Well, nobody said every card's going to be like that. I mean, every card doesn't have to be like that. It's just examples of how cards can be.
That's what I want to know. Yeah. Like, that's another thing is like, for repeatability, like, can you keep playing like the game and like it's a new thing? Because it like, for instance, like if it's, you know, if each card's different, like whatever, whether they're the same or different, you know, you'll just memorize the answers kind of like in trivia with only 148 cards. I mean, there could definitely be more. But, you know, stuff like that we could think about. I kind of thought some ideas I had was maybe doing like some kind of gematria bingo, like doing some kind of like bingo that you like look at the news stories and like there's some kind of bingo with that, you know, like some kind of like cliche that they always put in the news. Maybe there could be another thing I was thinking is something else because I mean there could be multiple games too. like you were saying, another idea is like maybe something kind of like an Illuminati monopoly. I was thinking that basically like you have to like each player basically tries to like, you know, become like the government or something like that, like form a secret society or something like that. And there's different cards. I saw somebody wrote a comment like saying that there's like blood sacrifice cards and stuff like that. Like I think that would honestly be pretty interesting. And if there's like some kind of like, you know, Gematria was incorporated into a game like that, or maybe a game kind of like Clue, where like you have to like try and find the person who's bad. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of ideas that people can give out and refine, and I don't think that like coming up with like a great idea is going to be like super easy for like something super entertaining. But that's all I had to say about that. But the other thing I wanted to talk about was I watched the movie They Cloned Tyrone. I think that kind of a lot of people are like sleeping on some of the other, like a lot of the other stuff that was in the movie. Everybody's just talking about, oh look, oh the clones, oh they're cloning people, you know. If they're actually cloning like people, which, you know, I'm sure that's been done before, I don't really think that that's really a very important thing to talk about. But have you watched the movie, Zach?
Yeah, and I've talked about it. The food, the music.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And like, you know, it's interesting how they use all that stuff to control people, and that's inside the Jesuit church and whatever. You know what's funny? I was out in like, you know, in basically like in the hood. I was actually in the projects and stuff, selling computers, you know, to black people there, and I was like in there for a while today. And so, like, something I noticed was that like everybody there knows each other. You know, like they have like a community, and like I took some lady to the store, like she knew like people that were just there, like walking in and out and stuff. Like it's crazy like how much everybody knows each other there. And like I didn't think about it before, but I think that that's probably one of the reasons why the elite target that community.
Sure.
You know,
all right, here we got a commercial break,
and
we'll be right back, everybody.
This is iHeartRadio.
iHeartRadio.
iHeartRadio makes you want to move. When you have a great melody, song first.
Instantly connected.
I love it when the beat goes.
Did you know you can listen to Truth Frequency Radio on iHeartRadio? Just download the app to your smartphone, or smart TV, and get the best of TFR wherever you are.
Radio.
I'll see you there.
So, you love talk radio, then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
Then sang Moses and the children of Israel this song unto the Lord.
Holy mighty King, holy mighty King, holy mighty King, holy mighty King. The wind of God. From the state of Washington, from the state of Union, Brownsville, Texas, and the tip of Florida. Today, we speak this atmosphere. Today, burn this thing. This virus hates heat. You just burn this thing. Burn, burn. I call for a supernatural heat wave straight out of hell. Burn, burn. Holy mighty King, holy mighty King, holy mighty King, holy mighty King. The wind of God. Get on to it. Get on to it. You get on to it. Get on to it. You get Holy mighty King, holy mighty King, holy mighty King, holy mighty King. The wind of God.
You are destroyed forever, and you'll never be back.
What the fuck?
Wherever you are, make it see.
Frequency Radio.
Condition orange. Condition orange. Situation Delta in effect. Please enter your agent number now, followed by the hash key.
You have to create culture. Don't watch TV. Don't read magazines. Don't even listen to NPR.
Time comes when silence is betrayal.
More for themselves and less for everybody else. But I'll tell you what they don't want. They don't want a population of citizens capable of critical thinking. They don't want well-informed, well-educated people capable of critical thinking. They're not interested in that. That doesn't help them. Think for yourself. Question authority.
This code has been compromised.
All right. Again, for the gentleman who called in earlier about finding parasites, again, I am looking for that email. If you want to send it to me, the email address is GematriaEffectNews@gmail.com. And again, at least Eric is interested in the information. I'd like to pass along to him at the very least. So standing by for that email. And let's let some other voices on. What's up, Eric in Seattle? How you doing?
Who's this? Am I on?
You're on.
Oh, what's up, man?
I was wearing your T-shirt this morning when I was mowing the lawn. Thank you.
Dude, I saw you on one of your streams last week wearing it. I was like, yeah, right on.
Yeah, I was wearing it this morning.
You're sweating all over it, man. How dare you?
Yeah. Let the neighbors know where I stand.
I'm calling because I, in reference to again, I'm going to harp on the '83 Sixers. Oh, here's the point. I was looking up, man, some stuff about Kobe. And did you know that in 21 they announced the 75th All NBA team?
And Kobe equals 75, and Daryl Dawkins drafted in 75. But so the year after Kobe dies, they announced the All NBA team, and then what happened?
Yeah, so the 50th anniversary team. So it's the 75th anniversary team. So the 50th anniversary team, all those guys automatically made the 75th one. And then guess how many total players they selected for that anniversary team?
I don't know.
76, man.
Go figure. Go figure.
So after the 50 originals, they chose 26 additional players to make that team. 26, right?
I see.
The big 2-6 are there?
I see.
Are you in that? All right. Yeah, isn't that wild? I just stumbled upon that. But so the 83...
I just got to point this out while it's in my head so I don't forget it. I'm just staring at the date that they're supposed to build the Kobe statue or unveil it, August 8th, 2024. That date has 60 numerology. And again, Kobe scored 60 in his last game. Moses Malone dead at 60. Again, the 83 finals, 60 days after his birthday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Then I was looking at who died, right? Who died before the 83 championship season for the Philadelphia Sixers, right? You know, the most significant person I found was, you know who Jack Dempsey is, right?
Jack Dempsey died that year?
He died on the day that they won, on 31 May, 1983. Jack Dempsey died at age 86 on the day that Philadelphia
I see that, yeah.
championship.
Yeah.
You know what the connection is? So I was like, okay, well, so Dempsey was born in Colorado, so do we need to say more about that?
I see that.
The 38-83. And then he lost his title to, I can't think of his name. Anyway.
Joe Louis?
But he lost his title in 1926, man. In 26. In Philadelphia. So he lost his title. Let me look it up, man. I got notes, but
no, I see it right here. Yeah.
Yeah, in Philadelphia, he lost his title. So I think that's pretty significant, don't you think?
Absolutely.
To Gene Tooney.
Well, think about this.
Gene Tooney equals 41.
He died
Gene
57 years
41.
later. He died 57 years after losing his title in 83, and NBA Finals is 57.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, right. So I found that out, and he was part Cherokee. You know, you're all talking about the African Americans, like Mahomes. They're all on teams with the Native American.
Sure.
So allegedly, Jack Dempsey was part. He said he was part Cherokee, and when he was a kid, he called himself. He was called the Kid Blackie because he got into brawls, man. I think his parents like made money off of him, like having fights in the street and stuff, and in bars and whatnot. Anyway, I found another one that's pretty significant. I thought there's a Major League Baseball player called Bob Johnson, and he played from 1933 to 45 primarily for the Philadelphia Athletics. Okay, and athletics equals 56 as a side note. But he was an 8-time MLB All-Star. Okay, he died on 7/6 at the age of 76.
Yeah.
And in 80, let's see, where's his death date? Damn. I can't find his death date. Oh, here it is. He died on 7/6, 1982. 47 weeks before Philadelphia won the championship. 47 weeks. Okay. So that was another one. I was like, okay. He died on 7/6 at the age of 76, and he played for the Philadelphia Athletics. I thought that was relatively significant as well. And aside from that, I was really struck by the freaking Exorcist guy. So I looked into that. Blady the writer.
Right.
You know that he won the Oscar for best screenplay. Did you know that? Guess what Oscars they were? The 46th Oscars, man. He won the best screenplay for writing The Exorcist, and he went to Georgetown, right?
And now he's dead in the time of number 46.
There's so much 46-35 all over it. Friedkin was born in 35, right? So there's the 35. He was born in Chicago, which is a big 35-46 city. Just a ton of 46s, a lot of 7/8s and 87s as well.
Hold on. You got good information. I do. I want to go back to Jack Dempsey's death. Look at all the other reasons that he was chosen for the ritual. Total fights. Total fights in his career, 85. Okay. Basketball, 85. Wins, 68. Oh, really? Basketball also has the gematria 68. So.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, they've been doing this. That's what I mean. They've been doing the same thing for all of our lifetimes and getting away with it.
I know, man. Seriously. Crazy. Yeah, I was like, oh my God. Yeah, when I saw it, I was like, okay, what's his connection to Philadelphia? And I found it. He lost his title, and then he fought Tooney one more time, but he never got his title back. He lost it in 26. So come on, right?
And it makes sense because, again, 83 is the year Kobe turned 5. Moses Malone won the finals. Moses writes the first 5 books of Moses, which are called the Torah, which equals 26. Just like Bryant and Game and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
And Bear Bryant died that year. And,
Bear Bryant. Moses Malone, straight out of high school. Petersburg High School, right? In Virginia. The name of it was Petersburg Crimson Wave as a connection to Bear Bryant because it was the Crimson Tide, right?
Right.
Bear Bryant, Alabama. So Moses' team was the Crimson Wave. And in the last 2 years that he played as like a junior and a senior, they didn't lose a game. And then there's probably a 50. Well, there's a 50 right there. Because they won 50 games in a row. They didn't lose a single game the last 2 years of Moses' high school career. So that 50...
Alabama equals 50. Something. Alabama has the 50 in it.
Right? Yeah. And that's nuts.
So his high school had a very similar name to the Crimson Tide. I didn't know that piece before. Crazy.
Crimson Wave. Yep. Crimson Wave for whatever team. And if you think about Crimson Wave, doesn't it kind of make you think of like Stephen King's what's the movie The Shining, where the blood's coming out of the elevator? You know what I mean?
Sure.
Crimson Tide. What's up with the Crimson Tide anyway? What's that come from? It seems like blood to me. I don't know. I've never been an Alabama fan, but anyway, there's that connection too, man. And so what's his name? Going back to The Exorcist. I'm sorry, but Blady. He died at age 89, and Jesuit Georgetown was founded, in 1789. I was looking for 89, and I found it, and I thought it's because he's so Jesuit and so Georgetown proud. You know what I mean? Anyway, I got some other stuff that I'm, with all that's going on. Oh, 44th Academy Awards was when French Connection won. And French Connection equals 89. I don't even know. But 44th Academy Awards, you get the 46th Academy Awards, where Exorcist won like 2 Oscars out of 10 nominations. Linda Blair equals 46. Okay. Here's the last thing I'm going to mention. So the release date of Exorcist was 26 December 1973. And it was 222 days after Pope John Paul's birthday, 18 May. It was 222. And the only other 222 I could find was projectile vomiting equals 222. You remember? Have you watched The Exorcist?
Yeah, the possessed girl vomits everywhere. Yeah, indeed.
And in the Wikipedia, they literally refer to it as projectile vomiting. So I was like, okay, let me look that up. 96, 102, 264. But I'm going to leave it at that one, man.
Yeah, those are all great observations. That's some really good research. I really like, especially the Jack Dempsey thing and the connection with the high schools.
Yeah, totally. When I found that, I was like, I knew I had to call in and tell you that one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And unless you had already found it. I wasn't sure if you already knew it or not, but I just thought yeah, it was worth looking into, man, for sure. And still, it's amazing. In Italy. So he moved over to Italy when he was 6, right? And then they came back when he was, according to Wikipedia, and they came back to Philadelphia when he was 13. So you just wonder what went down in those 7 years while Kobe was living over in. Not only did he learn Italian, but what else? You know what I mean?
Indeed.
What else? They programmed his ass because they brought him back to Philly, and he was like starting varsity as a freshman and being game high scorer. He lived with his daddy, and his daddy was a ball player, and he was around the team over there. But still, seriously, you know what I'm saying?
Eventually, he'd be the 13th pick of the draft. His daughter died at 13, and the ritual synced up with the Pope.
Exactly.
41, the 13th prime.
Totally. All that. Yeah, I was like, wow, this is just scratching the surface too. Well, Wikipedia, it's the narrative, right? People say Wikipedia is not, gospel, and you know what I mean by that. But it is the mainstream narrative, don't you think? The Wikipedia, don't you think the information on there is kind of what is being put out, don't you think? So you can go by that.
Yeah, you just got to be careful because sometimes the information's been changed. Wikipedia likes to change things over time, and then yeah, sometimes the stuff they have is right, and sometimes it's been edited and is not correct. But more often than not, it's useful.
It's kind of where you go just to get the main points, the main dates, and all that other stuff. And if something is shifted, I mean, whatever, you know what I mean? Anyway, I'll let you go with that one, man. But yeah, I'm watching you, and I'm like kind of covering the same shit. Oh, Barbie, what was that thing about Barbie you just had up? Because the Ken doll guy, he died 7 days after the release of the Barbie movie. Did you know that?
He died July 15th, and the movie came out July 21st, so he died less than a week before.
I thought 28th.
The news was published July 28th, so the news was published 1 week after the movie came out, and then they revealed that he died the week before. So
right, and so the release date numerology is 71, 17, and 51, and Mattel equals 71 and 17, just to say. So it's all synced. And then I looked at G.I. Joe. I think G.I. Joe is also Mattel, and there's some interesting numbers there. Anything is worth just looking into. It's odd, but anyway. Yeah, wild about the Exorcist thing was like something else. I mean, it was like, I looked into that hard, and it's full of it. And you think about it, you know, what's more Jesuit than Georgetown? I mean, and that movie was huge. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
The name of the 49. So here, 49 was the year that, well, the movie was based, Blady actually, it was supposedly like an actual occurrence where in 49 some Jesuit priest did an exorcist, and the two names that they said were Roland Doe or Robbie Mannheim. Those two names, Roland Doe equals 47, Robbie Mannheim equals 74. But anyway, it was based on an actual occurrence, supposedly by a Jesuit priest doing an exorcism, and I'll just leave it there, man.
Yeah, and there's several other Jesuit series that have to do with exorcisms. Anthony Hopkins plays a Jesuit priest that does exorcisms in a recent Hollywood release. But yeah, great call. Thanks, Eric. Appreciate it.
All right, man. I'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, take care.
Later.
Okay. He comes out when I'm in Seattle. Shout out to Eric. There's two Erics that come out when I'm in Seattle. Shout out to both of them. Let's go out to 484. What's up, 484? Are we trolling? Your recording is too low. I'll make sure you get your troll dollars tonight. Next time, turn up the volume louder. Oh, I like how they listen. Good listening skills. Let's go out to 347. What's up, 347?
Hello.
Yo, what's up?
Hey, Zach. How's it going?
Going all right.
Hey, I wanted to bring up this New York. I know you brought up that I decode a little bit too heavy.
No. Again, what did I say? I said no. I know his decodings work because he's winning with the sports. But I said it might be too complicated and too connected to just get to people on an introductory level. That's what I said.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's undeniable what's happening, and it's like mockery with, 9/11 rituals. Pretty much every ritual that is happening is connected with the sport team and, news and everything else. So I seen that it was, the White Sox had 68 losses, and they ended up beating the Yankees 68 days from last time they beat them. Terror 68. It was 4,481 days since Osama was killed, which is the 608th crime. So I said, hey, the White Sox are going to beat the Yankees first game, and then they're going to lose the next game to get their 69th loss. Why? Because Saddam Hussein died at 69, and I seen the connection of the White Sox potentially getting their 1,666 loss since the war started. Of course, with a New York team. Yesterday, on the 8-8, the White Sox got their 69th loss, 6,066 days since Saddam Hussein was executed on December 30th of 2006. So, yeah, I heard you talking about the White Sox and the Obama connection with 44 and 68, and it's just complete mockery of what they're doing with the MLB and pretty much, rituals on top of rituals.
Just to remind me, just a simple thing to explain to people is on Obama's birthday, August 4th, Mr. Chicago, the Cubs come in with 56 wins. He won the 56th election. The White Sox, his favorite team, come in with 43 wins, which is a little bit subtle because he was number 44, but he was the 43rd person to be president. But you just got to say, what are the odds of that? The 43rd person to be president, 56th election, on his birthday, that's what the two Chicago teams come in with. So that's what I'm saying, Gabe. Again, I know your research. It's very detailed, and you're hitting a lot of things, and you're connecting a lot of big dots, and it's too mind blowing. The point I'm making to you. It's a lot simpler to explain what I just explained to somebody than the type of thing you're trying to connect it out. This game sync with Osama, that's just most people aren't going to be able to comprehend that.
Zach, but how is this possible that this is all connected? The war lasted for 8 years and 8 months, and on it yesterday, which was 8-8, the White Sox got their 69th loss, 6,066 days since Saddam Hussein died. I mean, that's just
well. Again, the MLB, man. We heard about Osama bin Laden's death through the MLB. It was a Mets-Phillies game where the news broke. So America's pastime.
Yeah, it's Saddam Hussein, Osama bin Laden, and Obama ritual, I'm calling it, because the Yankees got their 1,119th win since Osama bin Laden died. So it's just,
Chicago and New York.
It's really mind-blowing.
Chicago and New York, since you're connecting those teams through the ritual. Again, you had Larry Silverstein, who had the lease for the World Trade Centers, and he got it just right before it happened with his big insurance payout, and he also had the lease for Sears Tower in Chicago. So,
yeah, I'm reading a little bit of the Manny P. Hall. I learned from him from William A. Cooper. He wrote The Behold of the Pale Horse, so it got me into this, knowing about the occult and everything. It's just, the world and everything that's going on, how it's connected. It's just, mind-blowing. And, yeah, what the caller was talking about earlier about taking care of yourself, the cabal is really, putting poison in our food, and really got to watch out what we eat, what we listen to. And, I appreciate everything that you put out, people worshiping these rappers and, this nonsense of what they put out. It's messing up with our mind, body, our frequency. So
exactly.
Gotta,
it's like they're always messing with our frequency, the nonstop propaganda, the junk in the body. It's like they know that we're an amazing automobile, and they can't have us functioning as we can, so they keep us in this low vibration always, so that we're servants to them.
To the people that knows about this information and just gone off stray, I've seen that happen. I just think of, they're pretty much cowards. They're losers and cowards, and I've had a person say that he's going to send Steph Curry's men to me because I exposed how Steph Curry's on 666 losses away. And, these people in this community still worship these false idols. It's crazy that, we have to go through all that. But we have to weed out these people from the community, man.
Yeah, I don't know why there are so many
Yeah,
weeds. It's annoying. It's annoying how many weeds there are. I forget, there was some movie that Netflix put out a few years back, and it was set in Chicago, and it was about some people trying to get the people of the city to stand up against the tyranny of the government, and they said it's based on a true story. I just remember, what I remember from this one film is at the end, they're interviewing the actual guy the story's on, and he's like, looking back, it was weird, because the majority of people around me that I thought were down for the cause turned out they were like government agents and feds. And I was just like, I mean, I think this is the way it's been. It's like everyone's so busy on the slave treadmill with their day job and school and keeping up with life and kids and family. Most of them don't have time for anything else in America. So it's like the people who are giving you the attention, it turns out they're like the informants, government agents that are just here to mess with you because they don't like you speaking against Big Brother. So that's the way it feels, at least.
Yeah, this world is evil and corrupt. I'm not religious. I know there's a higher power, and I'm not going to stand for this craziness that's going on. I don't have any kids right now, but I plan to have like one kid at least, and I didn't want him or her to grow up in this type of world. So,
right.
Yeah, man.
Indeed.
Anyways, I just seen how this crazy connection is, and they're still playing tribute to 9/11, and it's one's more obvious than the other. But
sure. And then again, keep doing what you're doing, Gabe. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying the connections you're calling in with, I mean, they are interesting, but I just know a lot of people aren't going to be able to grasp those because it's just too deep. You got to keep it more simple for most people to wrap their head around it. So.
Yeah, I figured this was kind of like pretty obvious that the White Sox got their 69th loss. The war lasted for 8 years and 8 months. Saddam, he died at 69.
Hold on, we got commercials again. But thank you, Gabe. Keep it up.
Well, I'll talk to you.
All right, take care, man.
See you later.
See you.
Easy to sit on the edge of your bed and to think, there are things I'm doing, there are things I'm not doing, that I should be doing, that I could and would do. Small things. But you can start to improve your life incrementally by eliminating those things that are self-evidently making you bitter and miserable. But you have to decide that that's what you want. You are willing to burn off that dead wood, to sacrifice that bitterness and that unhappiness, even though you may feel that you're justified in harboring it. You may even be justified in harboring it because people have very hard lives and sometimes they're very badly mistreated. You need to think it's okay if things improve, and it would be worthwhile for me to start to abandon those things that I'm doing that I know to be harmful to myself.
Extendivite is more than just a heart tonic. Do you have any of these symptoms? Night cramps in the hands and feet. Your arms and legs often go to sleep. On short walks, do your legs get aches and pains? Is your memory worse than it used to be? Ankles that swell late in the day? Has your blood pressure increased lately? If you answered yes to even one of these questions, you may have early warning signs of arterial blockages. Your body is saying that it is time to take Extendivite. These are not the normal signs of aging. They are the warning signs that accompany blocked arteries. Get your Extendivite today. Extendivite is available in capsule or liquid form for just $69.95 for a 2-month supply. To get started, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822 or visit heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendivite.
If there's something you want to achieve, you can achieve any freaking thing you want as long as you know what the goal is. That's why goal posters or goal boards or even just telling someone what your goals are, writing them down is so important, because once you can identify your goal, it makes it so much easier to work towards it. And that's something that I think our children are not being taught in the school system right now, is how to set a proper goal. It's like, hey, what do you want to achieve? Well, the teacher gave me these things I want to achieve. Okay, well, what's that going to do for you? Well, I don't know. The teacher said I had to do it. Okay, that's great, but it doesn't teach them the logical thought process or the creative thinking process to develop a goal and then reverse engineer what they need to do to accomplish that goal. And we need more of that true goal setting in our society. Otherwise, we just have a bunch of sheep who have no idea what they're doing. They're just bumbling around. Don't be a sheep, be a goat. They're more creative and adventurous anyways. Be an ornery goat.
This is Truth Frequency Radio.
No haste, no hype, no fear. Real people, real radio.
Welcome back, Truth Seeker. Over the break, breaking news. Ecuador presidential candidate Fernando Villavicencio assassinated. Not an assassination attempt, assassinated. And today leaves 144 days left in there. Haven't I been talking about all these clues for an upcoming assassination because of the 144 trail that goes back to Lincoln? Again, Lincoln shot on 14/4. JFK killed 144 days from meeting with the Pope. Bobby Kennedy reported dead at 1:44 a.m. RFK Jr. officially enters the election April 5th this year, 144 days after the Superior General's birthday. He was from Latin America, where this assassination is today. And the kicker is, the guy who was assassinated, his birthday is October 11th. That means he was assassinated 63 days before his birthday. Tell me what Kennedy was killed in 63. Man, it is annoying. It is annoying that just like the whole world doesn't know. The whole world should know. They should see through this right now, know who's responsible, whose game this is, how tied in this date is, this number with history. It's just, I mean, come on. At the end of it, I've been talking about this all day since early this morning, putting out videos. For the day to end this way. Remember the Shinzo Abe ritual last year? There was a tribute to Abe Lincoln. He was assassinated, the former Japanese president. And then they had an article about Shinzo Abe this year on April 14th. It's like, oh my God, man. Oh yeah, they had to bring him back up on the anniversary of the assassination of Abe Lincoln. Abe is spelled A-B-E, just like Abe Lincoln. Shinzo Abe, you could call him. They say Abe. Let's go out to Germany. Germany, you're on.
Yeah, g'day, Zach. How are you, mate?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
Great. I just wanted, I'm not sure if you're aware of prime numbers. There's a sequence there that not many people realise, that after numbers 2 and 3, you get to number 5. If you square it, 5 5s are 25, they're all divisible by 24, so plus 1. So 24 plus 1 is 25. Next prime number is 7. 7 sevens are 49. That's 24 times 2 plus 1.
Okay.
And so it's a pattern that will go on. It will go on through the whole time prime number sequence. So 11 is 121. That's 5 times 24 plus 1. Have you heard of that one before?
I have not.
Yeah, so I mean, 24 is obviously an important number. In the Fibonacci sequence, every 24 numbers is a recurring pattern as well. You have to do reduction though. So when you get to, you got 1, 2, 3, 5, 8. when you get to the double digits, such as 13, you reduce it to 4, and then the next one is 21. You reduce it to 3, and you carry on like that, and the first 24 digits you get will also be the next 24, so it's a recurring 24 pattern as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so 24 is quite... And actually Fibonacci, that wasn't the guy's name, it's named after, it's called Fibonacci, but it was actually Leonardo Pisa. It was the real name of that Fibonacci sequence. And it's called, that 24 recurring pattern is called Pisa for that reason, just like the leading tower of Pisa's name.
Pizza?
Pizza, yeah. They were actually an empire that's not always out there in the public arena, what our history is. But Pisa was actually an empire that is sort of hidden. They're also part of the elite. When you look into the background, just going on to your game that you're thinking about making, it's brilliant. I really love that concept you're talking about. Actually, on TFR about 6 months ago, my name used to be Lazarus, but all my YouTube channel and everything got wiped out, just taken down. So I never bothered to redo any videos or anything since then. I don't really have time for it to be wiped out. But there's another guy that was in the chat with I, and we sort of bounced off ideas. We started with the word bull. And I don't know who this guy was. I think he's in America. But him and I just kept on continuing adding names to bull, like Oxford University, Oxford Dictionary, because Oxford's the bull. We kept on alternating to see who could get the most names. So we were actually playing that game about realising about that concept of that game about 6 months ago in your chat. It was quite strange. Well, he would write bullseye, and I would write bulletproof and bulldozer and bullshit. I think there was another one, bull rush.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we turned into like cows, and we went cowboys, and it was all to do with bovine, Moscow, the equinox, stuff like that. We took it as far, for about an hour. I don't know how many words we came up with, but it was just kind of random, so I didn't know who the guy was. We just started it just out of the blue. So I thought it was quite a good concept, what you're thinking about creating.
Okay, I appreciate it.
Just one more thing, Zach, on the organic side of things. It was my birthday on Monday, so that was the 31st of July. And 3-1 equals 4, and plus July being the 7th. In New Zealand, we put the day before the month. I'm in Germany, but I'm actually a Kiwi. And I went to a restaurant at lunchtime with about 3 people that I'm doing my degree with. And we sat at the table, and they gave us a buzzer. On the buzzer was the number 47, and it was my birthday, and I just had a quiet laugh to myself. And the German girl I was with, she caught me smiling, and she asked me, "What are you smiling about?" And I tried to explain to her that in Gematria, 47 is time, and it's my birthday. And she looked at me like I was crazy or something. And it's just really hard to get that concept over to people's minds.
Yeah.
But, that just the organic side can come up, and it's like the universe telling you, there is a system here, so if you're aware of it, you can see it, sort of thing.
Indeed, I agree. Yeah.
All right, mate. Well, thank you very much for your time and taking my call. And yeah, good luck with that game. And you should do it. It's really a great concept. I think it's quite a good way to expose Gematria to a lot of new people.
I do too. Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you.
All right. All the best.
All right.
Bye.
Yeah. Take care. Take care. Let's go out to Florida. 321.
Hello?
Hello.
Hey, Zach. So I noticed that when the statue, you were talking earlier about the Kobe Bryant statue unveiling. You just turned 40, right? So you're going to be 41 when that happens. The same age as Kobe Bryant.
That's true. Yeah, it'll be after my 41st birthday. That's funny.
Yeah. So I saw the Daily Mail article you had. So another Daily Mail article that came out today says Lil Tay dead at 14. Mystery surrounds death of controversial social media star rapper and her brother as former manager sheds serious doubt on family's statement, and cops say they have no record of either passing. So I don't know if you saw that, but they're saying that like there's not really like confirmation of them dying.
Could be a scam. I see.
Yeah. Oh, another thing I wanted to point out, I was just doing some numbers. I don't know how much there is to this, but Steph Curry, ever since he lost to the Lakers and all that coronation ritual with LeBron and stuff, he's been like on a media tour and everybody's been talking about him. And recently on 8/7, there was a Paramore concert in the Chase Center where he plays, and he made a guest appearance and he was actually singing on stage. And I just think that's funny because Paramore and Stephen both equal 87 in the ordinal cipher.
Okay.
And also Paramore equals 42 and Wardell equals 42. And also Steph equals 23. Haley, like Haley Williams, the lead singer, also equals 23. Let me see. Curry equals 32, the reflection 23. Also Aisha, because Aisha Curry was saying how it was a full circle moment and that one of their first dates was at a Paramore concert. So Aisha equals 23. And where the lead singer Haley Williams is from, Meridian, Mississippi equals 230 in the ordinal cipher. So if you remove that 0, it's also 23. I also saw that Haley equals 31, just like Aisha equals 31. And Steph Curry equals 54, just like Aisha Curry equals 54. So I don't know. I just thought it was too many. It lined up too much to be a coincidence to me. I don't know.
Yeah. Great observations. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, that's all I wanted to say. You have a good rest of your night.
You too. Keep up the good work. Thank you.
Yep, thank you. Bye.
All right, let's go out to Oregon. Eugene, 541.
What's up, Zach?
What's up, man? You guys aren't in the
How you
Pac-12
doing?
anymore.
That's what I just heard, man. My wife told me that the other day. I actually played football at Oregon, so I haven't paid any attention to it as I got onto this type of stuff. Just like I'm over it. But man, I've been for the last year, and I got a few. First time calling in, longtime Patreon supporter too. So if you guys listening in, I've never actually logged into the Patreon, but I pay for it because I know how much work you're putting in to put this amount of content out. So I think anyone listening in, first of all, you should raise the price up to at least $5. I think is a minimum for the service you're doing. And everyone's got $5. So that's that. But a couple things I have questions for you on is just like, sometimes it's hard for me to follow some of the logic, especially when you get like outside callers who just start to kind of ramble on like crazy ass numerical things that they're seeing in their world, but it's like, it doesn't really make sense. What are some good books to like go back and read that kind of give you some guidance to how you're looking at like, oh, the Pope's birthday. There's got to be like rituals that kind of have something you've read that can kind of help me piece things together, if you will.
Well, okay. I know what you're saying about callers who call in. I mean, I feel the same way too a lot about a lot of the calls that we get. Do you ever feel like when I'm making connections in my videos, does it feel like when I'm doing that, does it also feel that way sometimes?
Just because you're so good with numbers and so quick with them that I'm pretty good about keeping up. I've kind of started cataloging all your stuff into AI so I can go back and actually query it and try to get information back on it because I'm trying to make the connections. Your brain's just moving way faster because your practices every day at this, for 10 years. So I wouldn't say that I see you doing that. But
I do go fast sometimes, and I know that. And I'm just hoping people will go back and rewind the video and listen, because I get tired of saying the same things every day, which I have to do to teach it.
Dude, I get it.
But
trust me, I get it.
Here's my answer to your question, though.
Okay.
To go back to your question.
Yeah.
Again, I found out about this knowledge through an excerpt that I found online from Manly P. Hall's The Secret Teachings of All Ages. And I was already, before I found that, though, I was just looking at the patterns in history with recurring numbers. And then I just started to go back through historical events and just see that, again, like, what are the odds that Lincoln shot on 14/4, Kennedy shot 144 days from meeting with the Pope, and his brother is reported dead at 1:44 in the morning, only for all these years later for his son to get in the race 144 days after the leader of the Jesuits' birthday. So, I mean, that's all I can say is, like, go through and identify real historical patterns. And then if you're going like, what's 144 mean? Again, eventually you figure out gematria. It's like,
I'm with you.
Go ahead.
I get all that. I'm more like, sometimes when you bring up things such as like important characters, let's just use the Pope because that's a lot. Pope's birthday, Jesuit birthday, these things. I was just wondering if there's stuff that you've discovered in your readings, like where it says like, hey, these are like known kind of rituals that they do, or are you just finding like the pattern of those moments, I guess?
I'm finding the pattern and then looking at what the gematria reveals about that. Like, once upon a time, just looking at Ignatius of Loyola and being like, okay, the founder of the Jesuits died 84 days from his birthday in 1556, when Society of Jesus is 56 and Jesuits 84, and then you can see that same pattern, persisting all over the place. So it's like, it's obvious. I mean, just through logic, you'd be like, that's clearly what they're paying tribute to. So at least that's the way I see it.
But I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm more listening, like, I've never studied the Kabbalah, right? But we know like a lot of this is coming from that Jewish mysticism, right? That's where this was.
Indeed.
This began.
Ignatius of Loyola was a Jew who converted to Catholicism. So.
Right. So my thing is like, I'm trying to figure out, like, is it in the Kabbalah, in these texts that are essentially like they're finding these ritualistic things that they're putting together? Is it more based on...
Okay, yeah, here, let's answer that. Again, maybe, I'm sure you've heard me say this before. Bava Kamal 113A, where it says it's okay to lie to somebody who's not Jewish if you're Jewish, as long as it's within a legal setting. And then they say that that's because back in the day, Jews were persecuted for being Jewish. That's why they have that in there. But we know it's 113, and then we know how that number 113 is coded into a million things that have to do with dishonesty. So it seems to me obvious that whoever put that together in the English language was very well aware of that verse, Baba Kamal 113A. And then again, you just see how 113 is all over the NBA, and it's no secret who runs the NBA. And again, they're locking down the NBA on the same day the 113 pandemic's beginning on 11/3. It's just... So that's the way I've always put it together, is just tracing the logical patterns over and over and being like, okay, this number behind that word matches with all these rituals.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I'm just trying to get my head around like how a ritual is put together. Like, I imagine a lot of times these are passed down through certain sects of these different, areas of their religions or whatever. They're probably passed down like family recipes, I'm guessing. And there's certain people that are running certain sects that, let's say it's the media, or let's say, I'm sure there's an overarching, cabal in charge, but there's got to be family recipes to some of these things, like people that run certain parts of these industries. Or are those discussed openly in their functions or when they go study Kabbalah?
Well, I mean, I don't know that for sure, because, again, I'm not in the network, right? We're looking at this from the outside in, trying to figure out what's going on, because we see something's going on, we're putting the clues together. But, again, the Jesuits are a military, right? The Jesuits are a military order, and military orders, there's ranks, and people follow rank. If the commander gives this order, everyone below that commander is following the order. So, today...
It's like a need-to-know basis.
Right. If you go back and look at the assassination of the president of Haiti the other year, it had the Jesuit numbers all over it. Same numbers we're talking about today. The Shinzo Abe thing a year ago, same numbers. Today, I mean, and all day we've been talking about 144 and assassination, only for the day to conclude with a political assassination. So that's what I mean. It's like...
I love the military order, though. That sounds... Because so many people... Like, when people, question you and question this work... because they think it's coincidence or they think it's whatever, but they don't think the military. They know we have secret, levels. Area 51. We know there's secret levels of the military. From a logic standpoint, maybe that helps some of these people that have the cognitive dissonance to wake up and say, oh, military. Yes, it is a military, but I don't know. Those people probably got to just look into it a little bit more anyway. I mean, they're not studied up on the history of this stuff, and I think that's probably the most important. I think the sports stuff and the pop culture stuff runs the algorithms of the YouTubes, or they used to at least. And I think the history is the important part for people to grasp this, and that's why I'm asking the questions I'm asking, because I'm trying to get a grasp too.
Yeah. So again, over here, just been a lot of research and pattern recognition and trying to figure out what. I mean, I still remember when I was first looking at this. And I was like, the numerology of that person's death is 38, and the numerology of that person's death is 38. And then I just remember, I was like, look at that. The word death is 38. Okay, that makes sense. And I mean, here we are a decade later, just documenting that pattern left and right. I mean, we have several more examples just from August 3rd this year. And we knew that was going to happen, sadly, because it's like clockwork. So that's how it's come to be. But it wasn't, I got the information about the practice of coding numbers into words from Manly P. Hall, and it's pretty much just been all application and research ever since.
One thing too, just for the listeners, like I know you're always kind of talking about the song Gematria, the killing number. I think a lot of the people who are moving in, especially the younger crowd that will listen, that are deep into this like Chat GPT or whatever, just go and ask it what Gematria is. It's pretty impressive how it explains it. And then you're not even the person explaining it. You're like, just go read what the freaking super intelligence is saying it is. I'm not saying believe everything that you read through there, because that's a singular source. But if there is that, like, this isn't even real, it's like night and day. You can still read it. Like, it's really well written too. If you just ask it what it is, it kind of explains it to the idiots.
It's funny. I've heard so much about Chat GPT, and I still have never used it. I'm going to do it right now. I'm curious.
You should. It's pretty solid what it will tell you. And also, when you get into it, it'll start to fight you a little bit because it's got some controls. But it'll start pulling stuff out, like when Jay-Z, it brings out like when Jay-Z released his album. They show you some stuff on there, how there was some numerology connections. Like it's the one telling me these things. So, it's just good for.
Is it the 444 album? Is it the 444 album that it brings that up about?
I don't remember, man. It probably is. I don't know. I don't follow it.
That was a big deal when he released that.
Interesting.
Yeah, everyone.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
No, I just think for people, because I hear people, and I try to explain this to friends and whatnot, and I'm trying to work through how to explain something that is hard for people to understand because it's not right in their face. It wasn't taught to them as children. So it's new. So anything you introduce is new. And try to tell them in a way that makes common logical sense to other things in life. How does this, like people learn how to code a website. Why wouldn't you think they know how to code the media? Just simple terms like that. So I'm always trying to think when I'm listening to your stuff, like what's some other ammo to give to kind of some of these minds to make them see that, this exists in this other world. Yeah, people code PHP or HTML, and that's not weird for us to understand. There's this weird, code that they make, and it makes a website or whatever. So it's trying to kind of get to some logical connections for people's brains when I'm trying to explain this stuff. Because I see this, I see what you're putting out. I see it makes sense to me. It's like it's right there. This is how they code their system, just like how I code a website. So, but I'm just trying to use the tools that were at our hands, such as like a Chat GPT. Like, it's powerful, man. I've uploaded your books into there, and I actually will chat with your books to get information quicker. And it's lights out because I can go through and it's referencing your book, which is dude, your books are long.
Sure.
So it's like, all right, but then I can go like, hey, so what do you say about 9/11? It'll show me every page that you talk about it, the connections you make and stuff like that. So I'm just trying to get the tools in place because it's super fascinating stuff, but kind of hard it's just like learning any new language. It's hard to sink your teeth in and understand all the different twists and turns that exist in it.
Indeed. Great questions, great observations, and I'm going to have to look more into Chat GPT. I've been meaning to do that, so I'm glad you reminded me about that as well. All right, friend, appreciate the call. Thank you.
Have a good one.
Yeah, take care.
See ya.
All right, let's go out to 951. 951, you're on. $951. Okay, quiet. Let's go out to Evan, 408.
All right, thanks, Zach. I know we're running out of show, so I'll keep it quick. But someone earlier was talking about how Wikipedia kind of shows the information that they want you to know. My favorite thing about Wikipedia showing the information that they want you to know is with the Wikipedia page for the Washington Capitals for their 2016 to 17 season. It says it's their 43rd season. And then the next year, their 2017 to 18 season, when they won the Stanley Cup, it says it's also their 43rd season. And the reason why there's this discrepancy is because there was a lockout like almost 20 years ago at this point that canceled the season. So depending on who you ask, it's like a different season. But to me, because DC equals 43 and Society of Jesus equals 191, 43rd prime, there's a lot more to it. But to me, the fact that they want you to know that the Capitals won it in their 43rd season, despite it also said their previous season was the 43rd season as well, that to me shows that Wikipedia basically has the information that they want you to know. And the next thing I want to talk about, the other day I made a video about the Major League Cricket Championship. It's this new league here in the U.S. I didn't know anything about cricket until about a month ago, and I even went to a game because they had some of the games here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. But the gist of it, Major League Cricket equals 111, and the New York team won the championship. And just for some mockery, the star bowler for their team, the bowler is like the equivalent of a pitcher. He's Afghan, and MI New York, which is the name of the team, it equals 110. And of course, we invaded Afghanistan after 9/11. And I'll just say one thing. You can go watch the full-length video to know more, but the team that won it is MI New York. It equals 52, and it's a certain MLB team's 52nd season. And also what's kind of weird is that the stadium in Grand Prairie, that's the name of the city, it used to be a minor league baseball stadium. And there's this cool time-lapse of the conversion from baseball to cricket. And a couple of days ago, I texted to this girl who used to live in Grand Prairie, and she used to see minor league baseball games there. I texted like 2 days ago, and then she just responded while I was on hold like 10 minutes ago. So that was kind of a weird coincidence.
All right, better follow up with that. All right, Evan. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. You have a good night.
All right. Time to hear from DK.
Yeah, we'll see.
Censorship
All right, take care.
and regulation is becoming an ever-growing problem.
Indeed it is. Thanks, Chris. All right. That's the end of the show. Again, TFR, I can't control the timers, the music, the commercials, the ads, none of that. It's all timed in slots. But, yeah, we'll see if we have a DK sighting. He was busy last week playing trainer, late night workout session. But, yeah, this Ecuador thing this Kobe thing with the statue. All these things. I mean, all these perfect patterns. It's just something else. Like I told you, it's going to be it's going to be 54 months and change from Kobe's death to the statue being unveiled. Kobe Bean Bryant, 54. Son, 54. He died on a Sunday. They want to put up the statue on 8/8. Very special day to the stars. The 88 stars or 88 constellations of the zodiac, the sun, the nearest star, Kobe, the biggest, brightest star. I mean, I'm just mind blown that everyone doesn't get it. Mind blowing. All right, let me say thank you to the super chatters. Josh was very generous tonight. Josh chipped in $100. Appreciate that very much, Josh. I would recommend it if you're going to make larger donations. It's probably better to donate through other platforms, but anywhere you can do it is fine. Thank you very much. It's just YouTube is very unclear about how much they're taking out of each donation, and sometimes I wonder if the money even comes through at the end of the month because they just give you a lump sum of money and say, here's what it all was. And it's like, I don't know. It seemed like I got better donations last month. Well, what's up, DK?
Hey, Zach.
How you doing?
Same old. I guess, I think Jeff's in LA, but I guess he's busy, so I'll get a few words in edgewise tonight, I guess. I was kind of listening in the background since the beginning, in and out. Started off pretty bad with your usual troll calls with the ivermectin troll and what other Austin troll guy with his Zanny bars. I noticed all these trolls all calling in with their big pharma stuff, right? And then in the next breath they'll tell you how big pharma's bad, but then they'll be pitching pharma drugs. I think the ivermectin came out of was the Q psyop with the hydroxychloroquine and the ivermectin and all that. So yeah, you don't want to be taking any of those horse dewormers or any of that stuff. The hydroxychloroquine, the reason that supposedly that was helping people, or in an acute case when you got something weird, but that stuff, the way it kills, the way it's like attacking these parasites is it messes with your body's heme catabolism. That's how your body recycles hemoglobin so you can breathe. So yeah, that may help you like in a precarious situation, maybe if you don't have anything else, or like you don't have the time to do it with herbs and it's like an acute condition, but you keep taking that kind of stuff and they turn on 5G, you'll be the first to go, because 5G will be all about you not being able to breathe because of what it does to the oxygen, the uptake of oxygen. So if you're already messing with your hemoglobin process, and then they turn that on you, you'll be the first to go. So hopefully those trolls will be fully loaded up on that as soon as that stuff gets, as soon as they turn on those towers. That would be great. What else? Oh yeah, and he was saying how lemon water doesn't make your body alkaline. I mean, it's not going to just completely change everything else you're doing, but of course it's going to add to helping your body be a little bit alkaline. So I mean, our body works just like plants. Plants are very alkaline when you eat them, but the soil they grow in is acidic, because the soil is the digestive system for the plants. So the soil needs to be acidic. That's why rain's acidic. We don't collect rain to drink it. We drink water that comes up out of the ground, spring water, because it's been alkalized by the minerals in the soil. So, the rain is acidic, the soil's acidic, and it digests all those minerals for the plants, so the plants can absorb it. Just like our stomach has to be acidic, so it could break down everything. If you don't have if you don't have like hydrochloric acid and stuff in your stomach, then you start getting acid reflux. It's from actually not having too much but having too little. So, yeah, it's just like, it's another as above, so below principle. The plants are very alkaline, but it starts off acidic. Same with our body needs to be alkaline, but the nutrients all start off in an acidic place, the stomach, to be broken down and redispersed. So there's a lot of very simple stuff that could have been explained to us there while we were in our in school in the formative years and stuff, so we'd understand like the human body. But I mean, we've had so much brainwashing, like during your school years, then you get out of school and then there's more brainwashing about the food, the food pyramid that's actually based probably an upside down pyramid. I mean, and the 4 square meals, these are all these are all just things that take us off of how our human body actually works. And then one of the guys was talking about God, I lost my train of thought there. I'll just jump on to the next thing. You were talking about, like, you were not sure about if people were being phased out, white people were being phased out. I would say if people who don't understand white people are being phased out or bred out, you haven't been to Europe, because I mean, that's what they're doing to every European country now. It's finally like happening in Croatia, which is a tiny country, but I mean, for years already, you know, Brits, they're a minority in the big cities like London and such. The French, they're minorities in Paris and these big cities. So, you know, only in like the little, you know, in like if you live rurally, still, sorry, I'm getting blown up by text messages. Rurally, there's still like the majority of the population, but in the big cities, which is all that the cabal really cares about, is they're the minority already. And I know this from being traveling all around Europe as a kid. Like as a kid, when we were in Croatia, we would beat up immigrants, not tourists, but immigrants. Like, you know, their kids we wouldn't let them, you know, play around in the streets and stuff like with us, with the like Croatian kids or whatever. We would just beat their ass. You know, they wouldn't even come around. You know, we would we don't want you here. We know who you are. You know, we don't want any infiltrators in our country. We don't want you in here trying to, you know, take over the businesses and all that, or any of the stuff. You know, people are just they're very on their tippy toes about infiltration from foreigners, you know, and now they're doing it through the refugee program, because you couldn't really do it in some of these small countries that have a very strong like culture, like Croatia. You couldn't do that, so they have to try to do it through refugee problems, like, oh, we got to let these people in because of some refugee crisis or something. But yeah, they're definitely trying to push a bunch of you know, different ethnicities into these European countries to basically blur the white race into being like, you know, just a hodgepodge of goyim, while these fake Jews, they would be the only like quote unquote pure-blooded white-skinned people left, and those are genetically modified bodies for them anyway. They worked many years to do that, so they could, you know, most of these higher end ones too, that they have blue eyes. I'll get into the black eye thing you talk about, but they've genetically engineered these GMO bodies for themselves, so they could be white skinned and, you know, kind of basically jump from country to country in Europe, kind of undetected, except for their behaviors. That's why they've been kicked out of so many of these countries. But they claim to be the only, you know, quote unquote, they're the only Caucasians, and then they labeled all of us Caucasians, which we're not. None of us are from the Caucasus Mountains. Very tiny few white people are from the Caucasus Mountains. So yeah, that's definitely their plan. It says so verbatim what I just said in the Kalergi plan. You know, so yeah, they're definitely trying to phase out white people. They know they're the most afraid of black people in general. That's why they kind of keep them so subdued, with the worst food in their communities, the worst schools, you know, just all the agendas against blacks, because blacks have the most testosterone out of any of the population. It has nothing to do with their melanated skin being spiritual or any of this other new age nonsense, doohickey nonsense that's been sold to people. But they do have the most testosterone. That's why you see they're so good at the sports, and they're lean, and you know what I mean? They have good genetics, and it's basically from, you know, it's like they're like on testosterone replacement therapy from birth. So, but there's so few numbers, and that's why the cabal doesn't need to worry about them as much, because they're low numbers. But you know, if they were somehow to combine with white Europeans who basically invented everything and built everything, it would be over for them. So now the agenda is to get rid of the white Europeans, which are, you know, in general, the direct descendants of Atlantis. So that's why most of the scientists are coming from that area, you know, Polish, German, Russian, Croatian, you know, that whole area is full of smart people as far as the sciences go, and as far as invention and architecture and such. So if the white Europeans and the blacks get together, it's over. And that's why, you know, they've been pushing this fake racism agenda for so long. You know, I mean, you know, racism is a fake Jew agenda. The gay, lesbian, transgender is a fake Jew agenda. Poisoning the food is a fake Jew agenda. Literally every single evil on earth has a fake Jew behind it. That's just how it is. That is the actual evil on earth. Is a certain lineage of creatures that look, like white-skinned human to us right now. But if we would have gone back some thousands of years, they didn't look like us at all. They had some of them had elongated skulls, 6 fingers, all kinds of different stuff. Totally non-human avatars, all kinds of different things. So yeah, that's definitely just as a kid, I know how much things have changed from you travel around Europe right now. I mean, it's like most in the airports and in the big cities and stuff, it's all non-European people working everywhere. I mean, England has been full of Indians, no offense to D26, for like probably 40 years, Like, we're used to Indians over here, and, since I was a kid, we were used to them just working at 7-Eleven and being cab drivers when there were still cabs before the days of Uber and Lyft and such. And, they always had the harsh accents. They were even driving the cabs still with, like, turbans on. I mean, it wasn't nearly what it is today. And they so many comedians would make fun of, like their accents. You're like, that would be $5, please, and stuff like that. And then, we'd go to Croatia for the summer, stopping in Heathrow in London, and there's all these Indian dudes and working in the, like, in the restaurants and the food service, and you're expecting, like, oh shit, this guy's gonna have a crazy ass fucking accent in English. I can't wait to hear it. And then they speak English better than you. You're like, what the hell? How's this possible? Like, how do these guys have no accent whatsoever? So I noticed that even from when I was a little kid, like, what the hell is going on? Why would they be coming? Why are they all coming here? Well, I mean, they have these, like, lowest menial jobs. Like, why would are they sending the money back to India? What's going on? You're working at, like, a fish and chips place inside the airport, and then you're sending your money back to India? Or your family came over here and is now all set up here? You've been to school here? You don't have any accent? Like, what the hell is going on? But it was only in the bigger countries, and now it's definitely hitting the smaller ones. So, these plans sometimes take 10, 20, 30, 40 years to, like, finally come to fruition, but that is definitely going on. Just from my own personal experience, I've seen it since I was a kid, and now especially it's really bad. And then I'll get into that black eyes thing you were talking about. You mentioned somebody in your school or somebody in something that somebody had some crazy black eyes. I can't remember who exactly you said it was.
The president of Arizona State University, Michael Crow.
Oh, there you go, yeah. So it's kind of the eyes are the window to the soul or whatever, but a lot of these people that are possessed, whether it's through nanites in their bloodstream from pharma, or whether it's from parasites that are on the frequency of the demonic realm, whatever it is, but other people, David Icke said that guy that was like the prime minister before, like he was going to be on some show interviewed, and they were both in the makeup room like before, and the dude was sitting in a chair next to him, and he said when he looked at him, he just had, like, his eyes were just like pitch black, like you painted them. There's like no depth to it, no nothing. So that's definitely a sign of, like, demonic possession. And I mean, I have a lot of experience with that because my dad has suffered since, I mean, I didn't notice it when I was that young, but probably since before I was born, he suffered from, like, multiple personalities and possession and stuff. And, his eyes would turn completely black sometimes. And, he goes back and forth. I try to look at pictures of him when he was younger, like a teenager and a kid, to see, like, if I could see it in his eyes that he's fucked up already. But, it like comes and goes. So whether he's made some type of deal with them where, spiritually, where they could just take over his consciousness whenever they want, or he's so weak that they just do it whenever they want, or what, I'm not really sure on that. But, I mean, my mom, when we were young, she told us, she's like, something's wrong with that man, and it didn't hit till we got, like, older. Some of his, like, just mannerisms and things he would do, we're like, what normal person would do that? Like, it makes absolutely no sense. And then, once I learned about all this stuff, I was like, oh, it makes complete sense. It's not actually even him. That's why we're dealing with, it doesn't seem like what the fuck's wrong with this dude, then he acts like that didn't happen the next day, like, wait a minute, we were just all up in arms, all talking shit about the way you're acting today, like nothing ever happened, like, there's no sense of remorse or shame or like apologetic, nothing, like just, and now I can see that's all just AI and, which actually, AKA demons, that they don't care. They're just using people. They don't care what happens to the physical body of whatever person's consciousness they can take over. You could beat the snot out of them, crack their skull open on the pavement. The demons don't care. They usually, and I've noticed now as of lately, since we all know what's wrong with my dad, they just do things to try to irritate us because it doesn't really matter whatever, punishments come down on him or whatever, privileges he loses. It doesn't matter. It's just to aggravate us, to keep us in a, like, anxiety and such. And, like over 50% of the population's on like anxiety medications and such. So, and can't sleep and all this stuff. So, I mean, it's just like another little added portion, not to mention if you're, quote unquote, what's been called a light worker, that you're going to most likely be incarnated in a family where one of your parents at least is fucked up in some way or another, whether they got entity attachments or, direct possession or whatever it is. But they always do that in order to keep the family down. So you don't you don't come up in a well-to-do family with all this knowledge and ready to go against the cabal from get-go. They want you to realize it way later when it's basically too late. You already possibly have, like, you're already within your, in the scope of your life. Now you're going to wake up and then start making too much of a stink about it. Your wife's going to, be against it and probably leave you. You're going to fuck up your, so you know what I'm saying? They kind of set you up to not be a warrior. They kind of already know who the warriors are way ahead of time. And they try to, kind of undercut you way before you would even know it. How we always talk about these people who go to church on the 6th day of the week? Have you seen that movie, The Sixth Day?
The Sixth Day. I'm not sure I have seen that movie.
You got to see that movie.
The Sixth Day.
It's Arnold. It's all about cloning. They've been selling us this shit about cloning for I don't know how many years already. I forget what year that movie is. If you pop it up,
2000.
Yeah, okay, so 2000. So they've been selling us this shit about cloning, like they're making things in a laboratory and then it's just dormant until you like place a consciousness in it or transplant a consciousness from another avatar vessel into that. But that's probably the last, the least percentage of reliability that could possibly be true. I think the way that they're actually cloning these people is through time travel, so if you go back in time 1 week, now you got you and you got yourself from a week ago. So you already got, there's your clone. You wouldn't need to clone anybody. You have two of you already. And then they got all the Back to the Future stuff, it tells you about the Grey's Almanac, with the whole psyop with the gray aliens. So, and then having all the scores of all the sports ahead of time and such, that would make it a lot easier to do all these rituals. It's possible to do it without that as well, but it would make it a lot easier if you had that in your toolbox as well. A little bit of.
We had it today for baseball. We smoked the MLB again. So.
Yeah, see what I'm saying? So, and you're doing it just like mechanically figuring it out. Imagine if, you're probably like, almost like you've taken a deep dive into the machinery of their, of how they do this, and you're picking it out from how the gears are moving rather than like them just planning it out from having the big picture already, like through some type of, foreknowledge, whether it be time travel or however the hell they're doing that, chronovisor or whatever. So I think that's probably a much higher percentage of if they're cloning people or not. But I think I'm going to have to go rewatch that 6th Day. I haven't seen that probably since, at least 10 years. I've seen it a few times, but there's a whole thing in that movie about how they trap everybody's memories and everything real time, and they call it like sin cording, and then you have to upload that into your next body So you'll be like right up to the minute, exactly like getting a new iPhone and just from the cloud up, that even your last like missed call or whatever would be on there when it didn't even actually happen on that phone. So I'm probably going to go rewatch that movie just to see if I had missed anything. But for people who haven't seen that, and in general, people who want to learn stuff, watch these movies that I tell you to watch. And people ask me, like, where did I get all this stuff? I'm like, well, movies are probably a good portion of it. They're like, wait a minute, you learn from movies? I'm like, yeah, I learned from movies. It's not the whole freaking movie. You got to know a lot of occult knowledge and a lot of these backstories of, like, our ancient past and the different technologies these alleged beings used and stuff. And then when you see it in the movie, usually in the movie, they'll tell you exactly how it works, and then the whole rest of the movie is built around it, like Hollywoodized, but it was just like a couple gems that were in there, and that was it. And if you didn't pick up on that, then it was just for entertainment. What else do I got on my list? Oh, you know what? I forgot. Been like probably a couple weeks already. One of your devout followers from LA that came to Pound Pavement wanted me to go over the black holes again. So I guess I'll do that. We'll start big picture first. So if you look at galaxies from far away, it looks just like a spinning disc with a bright ball kind of in the middle, and then like almost like octopus tentacles of lights sticking out of it that are like spiraling around, like following that center, which is obviously spinning, pulling the rest of it around in a spiral. So, when we look up in the sky and, you see that like whitish like cloud, you say, oh, that's the Milky Way. Most likely that probably isn't the Milky Way, because the Milky Way and another like smaller galaxy are kind of like merging right now, which could take like 1 billion years. And I think that's the actual spot where they're merging, like gears merging. So we're seeing it brighter there. But for us, the Milky Way is everywhere. I guess if you look toward that central part where the central sun is, it would be slightly brighter, but it wouldn't look like a milky trail like that. That's most likely the merging of, I forgot what the name of this galaxy is that's merging with the Milky Way, but that's more likely so what that is than anything. But anyway, at the center of of every single galaxy, you have a central sun and a black sun, which is actually a black hole. It's like a reverse sun, just like a jet ski, like in the back, it's got like a vacuum cleaner hose, but instead of sucking in, it's pushing out. So like a shop vac pushing out water at super high speeds that it's sucking in from underneath. Well, imagine the same thing going on with the black sun. It's sucking in light, and then it gets recycled and spit back out through the sun that we do see. So that's how it works at the center of the galaxy. So it's like a push-pull system, very similar to our heart. Our heart brings in unoxygenated blood, it puts it through a process, then it's sends it back out to the body, the oxygenated blood, after it's been oxygenated with the interchange through the lungs. So in a big picture way, it's like that. And then if you just look at the finest gradation they've told us, which is like atomic structure, that's actually a lie as well. There's not like any particles or anything like that. It's actually just a black hole. That would be your nucleus, is a little black hole, a 0 point where no time is transpiring and there's no movement. That would be God. That's why God is in in everything. And then you have a spinning ring of light that's spinning, not just like a ring like an equator, but spinning in every direction. So from a distance, it would look like a sun, like if you were to zoom in on it. That's the quote unquote nuclear membrane, is just a ring of light that's spinning. When they show an atom, they show that an atom is spinning. I think it's like, how many petals does it have around it? Like 6, where it shows you kind of like it's going around in every ecliptic. It's not just staying like an equatorial ecliptic, it's going all around. So that would be like the nuclear membrane. And then around that you have like torsion fields that are just like scalar tornadoes, which they call electrons. And these things have their orbital spin properties, whether they're spinning like upwards or downwards, and the speed. And that's where they get the orbital spin properties of electrons and such, that they, you know, the Einstein psyop theory of the electron and the atom and such. So it's all working as above, so below. You know, you have a tiny black hole inside every atom of everything, of the air, of the rock, of your body, and then you have the same thing basically at the center of the galaxy. So this is how, like, you know, we're so tiny, but yet it's the same principle on the largest scale possible. So that's kind of how the you know, that's literally what probably the male and female version aspects of God are, is the light pushing out, which would be the female, like birthing something out, and then the male like, you know, recycling it, which would be the black sun. That's why this is like a perverted male cult. Everything's like Baphometized to the male side, you know, because that's the male energy. And a lot of these fake Jews, they go through the female, actually. It's like, you know, the reptilians go through, like, it's like the female that's controlling everything. So if you look at, like, the female chromosome is X and the male is Y. So, like, everything's X, you know, Planet X, SpaceX, Xbox, X Factor, you know, everything that's run by these fake Jews is X. And then now Twitter is now X or whatever. So are they referring to their the way they count their lineage? You know, even if somebody is just like a half goyim or whatever, and it's through their mom's side, they're a fake Jew, they can be higher up, maybe a politician or something, whereas somebody's a half goyim on their dad's side, you know, they'd just be used for whatever, you know, purposes. Is again going back to how all these black musicians, black athletes and stuff have Jewish last names. Like, did they get these from their former slave owners who've been breeding them for hundreds of years, or what's going on? You know, how does Jamie Foxx get a Jewish last name? How does, you know, it just doesn't make any sense. Maybe they, you know, we know that most of the slave owners were fake Jews. It was like, I forget what percentage in the 90s, and those slave ships that came over were all funded by the fake Jews. So yeah, I mean, I think that's probably most likely what's going on there, just looking at it percentage wise. I had a couple other things that were just on the top of my head that I wanted to say, but I already forgot them now talking about all this stuff. You got anything to say?
No, I'm just listening. I mean, interesting as always. So.
Yeah, I mean, that stuff's pretty far down the rabbit hole. To get a lot of that information, I had to go down the rabbit hole and come out the rabbit's ass on the other end. So, you know, it's going to seem like probably pretty far out there. But for some people who have digested some of this stuff already for years, then, you know, this may be like the capstone or whatever on how to, on the information to put it all together. And then just I was talking to somebody the other day, and I thought this would be interesting to mention when I was talking about a long time ago, like, what does the G stand for in the Freemasonry, and it's Gilgamesh. And that's on the positive side, I would say, because, like, you know, the first builder for modern humanity was Noah, who built the ark to save humanity and such. I mean, it's just a story, but, you know, there goes the story. And then when Freemasonry was taken over, you know, they left that G, but it no longer stands for Gilgamesh. Now it stands for Gaonim, which were the black magic priests for the cult of Aton, which cult of Aton and cult of Amun-Ra are the ones that took over Egypt. You know, and we see all these, you know, places on Earth where they're controlling things from. Everything's Egyptian, obelisks and such, and they're bringing actual physical things from Egypt to put there. Like, why would you need to do that? You know, and the queen's got that stone underneath her throne and such. The Queen of England, which is actually the Queen of Germany, which is actually the Queen of Khazaria or whatever. So, you know, that's why they still have these queens. There's a movie about that too, about how the queen is in control. It's called The Wall with Matt Damon, but there was a frequency that the female queen was putting out that all the other basically like reptilian creatures were marching to that tune, and they were just looking for a way to block that frequency with another frequency so they couldn't hear it anymore, so they wouldn't obey the queen, and then they wouldn't take over this area that they were trying to protect with this wall thing, with the Great Wall of China, which, you know, most likely the Great Wall of China is probably the Roman Silk Road. If you look at it, you know, it's probably the trading route for Rome way back then, and they were probably trading with China, and, you know, it placed all these emperors up in China, and they were using that for trade. I mean, imagine the undertaking to build the Great Wall. So some of them, the walls end into the ocean, and you know, it just kind of ends in areas where you'd be like, why does it end there? You know, why doesn't it continue? We don't necessarily know even how long that's been there. Could have been from before the flood, even, who knows? So that's the most of it's like way inland, so probably would have been pretty much fine as far as floodwaters are concerned. I can't really think of anything else I had off the top of my head while I was listening in the background. Those are the things that I got to write down. That's the hardest stuff to remember. Yeah, I think that's about all I got on the RAM in my brain right now. And anything you want to add?
No, I appreciate it though. Interesting information.
You read like a paragraph that you said is the last paragraph for your introduction. Is that what that was for the book?
I read the introduction to the book, and then I was saying, should I lose the last paragraph?
Okay, so yeah, I think you should take that last paragraph and like say take the most important 2 words out of each sentence and make it all one sentence, because it seemed just like, I don't know, just it's all good stuff, but just for the layman, it just seems like a little bit, not necessarily desperation, but it just struck me as like when you're like trying to talk a chick up and you should have stopped like 3 minutes ago. You know, you already had it, then you said a couple extra things that maybe they're like, oh, this guy's saying a little too much right off the bat. You know, like it would have been better left for the next one. You know what I'm saying?
Sure, I do know what you're meaning. That's why I said, is it better without that last paragraph? So.
Oh, you were already feeling the same way?
Yeah, that's why I asked that when I presented it. I said, should I just get rid of this last paragraph? So.
Yeah, it's just like, I think maybe just on that one, just like leave it as a sentence instead of a paragraph. A little bit maybe too much right off the bat for somebody. But the whole introduction, the first part of it was great. I liked it. I think it was probably some of your best stuff.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate the feedback. Thank you.
Yeah, I can't think of anything else right now. Shout out to Vidal Carmenita. He knows who he is, although everybody else may not know that name right now. Yeah, I guess that's it.
All right. Take care, DK.
All right, Zach.
Yeah.
Thanks for taking the call again. Have a good one.
Yeah. Take care. Here, just for fun, again, you guys, all season we've been doing very well with baseball. Some days are better than others. I'd say today's a little bit better than average. But I don't normally show you guys what it looks like on a baseball decode. But if you guys don't know, I get up early every morning. I decode all the baseball games. I get them out early in the day so people can go over the notes and put picks together. And again, this knowledge has been life-changing for a lot of people. There's a gentleman who made over $30,000 last month off sports picks. There's a lot of people who've turned a small sum of money into a much larger sum of money. We've been doing this for years. It's actually gotten harder over time. Again, this stuff used to be easier years ago, is the sad part. But again, every day you look at these baseball games, you weigh out the narrative. So here, let's go over to today's games, for example. And here's the information I put out. I put it out just like this each day. Here's for Wednesday, August 9th, the date numerology 6024, the lesser date numerology 40, the primary date numerology breaks down to 6. Numbers that sync with the day of the month, it's the 9th of the month. 23 is the 9th prime number. 45 is the 9th triangular. Day count of the year. This note about how Michael Brown happened in St. Louis today. St. Louis ended up having a big upset today. So often those types of things happen. Anniversary of Michael Brown outside St. Louis. Cardinals with a big upset today. But also just give a note. So like today's note is 2 days ago, the 58 numerology is very strong. It was flawless. Yesterday was 59 date numerology. The majority of the 59s played, not all. It's rare that all the numbers will play in a day. Today, the smart number to follow seemed to be 60. So like first game of the day. Look at the first game of the day. Marlins can get the 60th win on the 60 date numerology. The Reds can stay on 60 wins. What happens today? Marlins get the 60th win. Reds stay on 60. And you know who can call into this show is Cuts1, because he's been ranting for days about how dumb it is that we decode sports. And I don't understand how that's possibly dumb. How is it dumb to prove to... I mean, this is where the mind's eye of the masses is. Sports, entertainment. We're showing how this stuff is contrived. This is rigged. This is a system. It's going on day after day after day. And here, let's go through more games. But Cuts, call in and explain why you're doing these long, streams in some weird plastic mask talking about how all this stuff is stupid now. It's like, okay, didn't you fly out to New York to help us get out the word? Now it's all stupid? I mean, call in and explain yourself. But here, let's just keep going. Let's keep going down the line. So, Rockies can stay on 45 wins. Again, today's the 9th of the month. 45 is the 9th triangular number. Brewers equals 45 in Gematria. Well, what did the Rockies do today? Well, the Rockies lost and stayed on 45 wins against the Brewers on the 9th. Big underdog athletics. We were waiting for this one. We were waiting for this one for the A's. And again, here's the narrative for the A's. Where'd it go? A's can stay on 82 losses. Rangers 82. You see how Texas was a huge favorite? You had to bet $285 to win 100 on the Rangers. That means if you bet 100 on the A's, they paid $250 today. So you bet 100 on the A's, you win $250. Your $100 becomes $350. But again, and I'm not encouraging people to bet $100, but I'm teaching people every day how to turn a $5 bill into potentially 100 or more off this knowledge. Plus, the nice thing, this is the last game in the series, if the A's won today, they'd stay on 82 losses versus the Rangers, plus the team that they play next is the Washington Nationals, which equals 82, and it's amazing how often these teams will go in with the right win number or loss number that corresponds with the next opponent. So there was 2 reasons to think that the A's, as big underdogs today, could stay on those 82 losses. A's could also get their 6th win versus the West. That's the division they're in, the AL West. They got their 6th win today. Today's date numerology broke down to 6. A's pitcher could get his 15th win. Big number that plays with Texas because Texas is 15. He gets his 15th win versus Texas. And he actually didn't get the decision, but that was another possibility on their side. But A's win the game. Big underdog, big win. And we hit on a lot of big underdogs from simply knowing Gematria. The Twins and the Tigers. The Tigers win at 9-5 today. What were we looking at for that game? This is the AL Central. Twins can stay on 60 wins. Again, 60 date numerology, right? So Twins stayed on 60 wins today. Tigers can get to 52 wins if they take the next 2 games. Again, Minnesota equals 52. They hosted Super Bowl 52. Twins can get to 33 road losses as well as if they lose the next 2. Tigers 33. The thing that's going to be tough about that game tomorrow is tomorrow the Twins can potentially pick up their 61st win on the 61 date numerology, and historically where 33 has played really well with the Tigers, this season it has not. In years past, 33 and the Tigers, boom, boom, boom. This year the 33 and Tigers really hasn't been hitting a lot. It hits sometimes, but it's missed a lot, so it's not consistent. And but today the numbers were definitely there. Tomorrow it's going to be a little bit iffier. And there was another thing to think twice about. The Tigers could have stayed on 24 home wins, and the Twins could have got the 23rd win on the division on the 9th. But again, it's just like I said in the notes, that path of 58, 59, today's 60, that's one's been the best this week. That's why that's the top clue. Again, it's about recognizing the patterns and following it. And the Cardinals could have stayed on 24 wins today. They got there. I honestly was wondering if they could do it because of the anniversary of Michael Brown. They did do it. I personally would have rather seen the Cardinals lose today because they would have been Lock City tomorrow for their 25th win on the 25 date numerology versus Tampa Bay, what we call the 25 City. So, yeah. And again, we don't get them all, but man, I'm telling you, had they lost today and 25 would have been there for tomorrow, that would have been a thing of beauty. I do understand, though, why they went on the anniversary of Michael Brown, and that's why I had that up at the top. The Nationals and the Phillies. If Phillies win the next two, Nationals in 33 was just fire at the beginning of the season. It's cooled off a little bit, but Phillies did get the win today. And tomorrow the question is, can the Nationals stay on 65 losses? Because Philadelphia is 65. We call it the 65 city. But picking up that 65th loss was definitely going to happen in the series. Doesn't mean they have to finish the series on that. But Phillies had the better read today. They win. Astros and Orioles. Astros can stay on 24 road losses. Orioles can pick up 23rd home loss on the 9th. That looked like the top scenario. There were some things to think twice about with that game, but the date numerology was there on the Astros side. Today's also August 9th, 8-9. 89 is the 24th prime. Canada's 24. You had those 2 Canadian deaths today. Canada's also 39. It's 39 days after Cam's birthday. But Astros had the slightly better riddle, and they're the winner today. They beat the Orioles 8-2. Braves and Pirates. Braves and Pirates. Braves can stay on 40 losses. That was the lesser date numerology. Pirates can fall to 8-8 versus the NL East. Pirates 88, good number with the Pirates. And sure enough, they do. The Pirates fall to 8-8 versus the NL East as the Braves record syncs with the date numerology. And, you know, the guy who called in earlier, Gabe, he gets way deeper with these sports decodes, and there really are deeper riddles there if you can catch them all the times. And but like I continue to teach people, I just consistently teach people the same methods. And sure, they're not as effective as they were 5 years ago, but you know what? We're winning day in and day out. We have a lot more good days than we do bad days, and our bad days are usually right around 50-50. Most days are winning days. The Mets and the Cubs. Cubs today look like they had the better narrative. The one thing I worried about is the Mets are the team with the 24 connection. And again, you had 24 date numerology today, and it's 8-9, the 24th prime. And so I'm not shocked here that the Mets prevailed in this game. It did look like there was more numbers for the Cubs, but the Mets are the team that connect with that 24 number, and they did win that game. But still, hey, if you put a straight bet on all these games today, you had a great day. Red Sox beat the Royals in that game. It was pointed out if the Red Sox split the next two, they can finish the series with 59 wins and 32 home wins. It was destined for them to get that 59 and 32 because Kansas City Royals is 59 and Kansas City's 32. But as I wrote, today the Royals can stay on 6 wins versus the East, which they did. They lost. Today, Royals pitcher can get 60th road loss. He did on the 60-date numerology. And what that's going to set up for the Royals tomorrow, and the Royals will have good value if they upset tomorrow. So, again, the nice thing about this knowledge is if you can put 5 games together that all come through and you have a dog on there, like a dog that pays good money like the Royals will tomorrow, you can bet $1 on that and turn a dollar bill into upwards of $50. You can bet $5 and turn it into upwards of over $100. That is what I teach people to do. Be smart with your money. Instead of wasting your money on supersizing your drink and your fry, which you don't need, and wasting $5 that way and buying some other crap food that you don't need, make your meal at home, make your coffee and tea at home, save your $5, and then, hey, if you don't want to save it and you got the gambling itch, turn $5 into $100, or at least try to, because if you stick with this knowledge, you're going to do it plenty enough that you're going to build a bankroll, like a lot of people have in this community. There's a lot of people who start with $5 bets, and they graduate to higher bets, and, they've been able to change their life. And again, I'm not saying that gambling is a great thing or this is what you should do with the knowledge, but this is the power of Gematria. We can see through all the bullshit, and we can take advantage of their rigged sports too. So, all the people who make all the excuses of they don't have money to support the work, they don't have money to come out for the movement, again, you're just making excuses. I'm showing you ways to make money. There's people who are doing it. Victor changed his whole life around and brought his whole family out last year for September 11th. So, again, people got to quit with the excuses. Blue Jays and Guardians. This one, the narratives were there both ways, but the Guardians could pick up the 60th loss. Again, that was the top clue for today. What happened? The Guardians got their 60th loss. So just following that pattern, Guardians follow the pattern. Yankees and White Sox. This game, I'm pretty sure I was on the wrong side of this one. Well, I guess the thing was the date numerology is both ways. The Yankees could have got their 60th win today. They did not. So the 60 would have burned you in that game. The White Sox could have stayed on 24 home wins on the 24 date, but the Yankees could have also stayed on 24 road wins, which they did. So, I mean, there's a little bit of understanding, but again, that's what I mean. You followed the pattern for the day. You will win in the majority of games, but don't count on winning them all. And the Yankees, they were the team that broke the 60 pattern today. The other games, it came through. Angels and Giants. LA wins at 4-1. What did we see in that? Giants can pick up 53rd loss. It's the last game of the series between these teams. Los Angeles 53. They did. Pitcher narrative favors the Angels. That's because the Angels pitcher had a chance at his 38th win today. Giants is 38. And the pitcher for the Giants had a chance to fall to 2-2 away when Angels is 22. Just these are consistent numbers with these teams. If you didn't do Gematria and you tried to decode these sports games, it would probably take you all day to do it because I have so much practice doing it. I can bust out all of this and in a couple of hours, 2-3 hours in the morning, I get up early to put it out. But again, I mean, the reason I can do it this fast and efficiently is from doing it for all of these years. And just knowing what to look for. So it's experience. And there's other people who've learned from me who can do it now too. And that's good. That's the whole thing, teaching people. Okay, so that was a winner. Dodgers, Diamondbacks. Dodgers can stay on 46 losses in Phoenix. Always a big number in Phoenix. Did the Dodgers stay on 46 losses in Phoenix? They've been doing it for days, and they did it again today. We've learned over time what numbers play really well in cities. Mariners and Padres. How did that one look? Padres can pick up 60th loss. Did they? The Padres got the 60th loss on the 60-date numerology. Padres can stay on 19 wins versus the American League. Seattle equals 19. The only city in America that does. They did. They stayed on 19 wins versus Seattle. Mariners can pick up 33rd home wins. San Diego Padres 137, the 33rd prime. Also there. The thing to think twice about was Yu Darvish. He had a little bit of a narrative that could have gone in his favor. But like I teach people, the team records usually trump the baseball records. This week, that numerology path is working well. Tomorrow, I suspect 61 will be a good number in the games it can play in, but I won't expect it to play in all games. So, anyway, Gematria, there's no other knowledge like it that I'm aware of. It connects all the dots. It puts money in your pocket. It takes your head out of the matrix that's trying to play with your head every single day. And, yeah, congrats to the winners, because it was another big-time winning day. All right, True Seeker. Thank you to everyone who supports the Patreon. It's $5 a month. A lot of people take that $5 and take all the sports knowledge and make a whole lot more money than that each month, and I don't know why there's not more people doing that. I mean, really, that's why I say there should be millions of people on my Patreon. There should be millions of people on there. There should be all kinds of buku money coming in. We should have an employee staff of 1,000 people. We should have all kinds of people getting their bankroll fatter, more people coming out, pound payment. I'm doing everything I need to be doing over here to help change the world. It's just the world isn't keeping up. The world's not helping out. The world's standing by, hands in the pockets, pulling out lint, excuses all day. If that's you, I hope you can change your ways and help me out with what I'm trying to achieve over here. So, we'll leave it there for now. And until next time, True Seeker. Oh, actually, hold on. We won't. Because I didn't finish saying thank you. I remember I was doing thank yous and then I got cut off. Thank you to the super chatters tonight. Shout out to Josh. Josh with a huge $100, two $50 donations, so $100. Nathan with my favorite word, persevere. Indeed. Thank you, Nathan. And then Nathan came with another one and says, does anyone think that the new Kobe statue won't have a serpent on it too? Yeah, I think that's highly likely. And let me see. He has a social media post right here with Kobe and the snake. So yeah, that's probably definitely not out of the question. Thank you, Nathan. Shout out to Eric. Eric, who was out with us. He drove all the way up from Arizona to California when we were out there. Spent days. And appreciate his donation. He's been making some money in the sports community. Thank you, Josh, for the membership. Thank you, Most Hated. He said, Zach, come to the Inland Empire. UCR would be a great spot. UCR must be a college. Inland Empire, California. To look up what UCR is. And then Nathan also with another super chat. Nathan with 3 super chats tonight. The word death, the word beyond, both have the same gematria. Does anyone remember hearing this slogan, death is the great beyond? Here we are right now living, do the right thing. Cheers from Ohio, keep it up. Thank you. So, yeah. Appreciate the donations. And I just got an email from YouTube. Those are never good. See what that's about later. And also shout out to John Mendoza again. I see a John Mendoza Cash App. And thank you, Tracy. That was Monday. Well, thank you anyway. Yeah. And you know who else had a great video today, as they so often do? RPM Trey Vietnam had a great video today. And again, I don't know why he's not getting more support either for what he's doing. It's like the only people who are getting views are just people putting out just worthless content. But yeah, misunderstanding my message. I really liked his video today. So thank you again, RPM Trey. Thank you to all the truth seekers. John Mendoza, make sure you're saving money for that rainy day fund, but I do appreciate your generosity. And again, congrats to the winners in baseball. We'll be back at it tomorrow. So leave it there for now, truth seeker. And until next time.